The opinions expressed of this show are for entertainment purposes and should not be misconstrued or interpreted as fact. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Introducing Pubcoin. Pubcoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into Pubcoins. Pubcoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys soon.
Upgrade your membership to Gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses. We are racing camels today.
Shout out to the Gold members. We're racing in San Antonio immediately here. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forwardly. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass. Oldie, no! There he goes. There he goes. Oldie in the lead now. K. Wolf falls back. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. Here. Oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy.
Oh my goodness, he's in the mix here. Jimmy, take it home. This is our first dog race ever.
19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can-Can. Kenny Can-Can wants a piece of the pie. Put his schnoz up front. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can-Can, Smoke and Mirrors, Director 97. Home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the Eldorado custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones all coming down the advantage.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! Fanatical Jim!
Started from the Parker Peter Low Shack. Legendary sports handicapper, more dapper than a dawn. Father young phenom, known as Jimmy, who declared one day that the bag was here to stay. Information like a PSA, we all PSR Pub Sports Radio Bizarre. Is a man named Slaughter and he flipped the script. No competition in this they quit the trip. But we say we be pubbing, betting with the bag and you love it. You want it top 10, we above it. Let's check.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Friday, May 2nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. The heater keeps rolling. You know, it wouldn't have been such a glorious day if I didn't hit the 9-1 on the Edmonton Oilers to win 4-2. That's $4,050 minus the $450 that I had on the Oilers to win 4-3, $3,600. We're just rolling really, really, really well. There's no way of getting around it. This week we are. Where are we here? This week, 20 and 15, just in the three shows here, 14 plus 14.64 units. Now that includes the 9 units on the 4-2. So, you know, call it what you want to call it. We're winning, and it feels really good. And let's just keep doing it. Some of us are winning more than others. Wine Time Sports now on our show, 38 wins and 23 losses in Major League Baseball. 38 and 23, 62.3%. He's up 15.03 units. He has an ROI plus 24.64% and an average line of minus 101. That's what Wine Time is doing here on the show. He'll be rocking with us today. Swiggy says the NHL playoff pool has been updated. I'd love to take a look at that here. Let's quickly look at the thank you, Swiggy, for that. Now, the game-winning goal in Colorado-Dallas was disturbing, horrific. I'm just so happy the series didn't end on that goal. Obviously, you know, harkens back to the Oilers, and I think it was Steve Smith, right? From behind his own net, trying to pass it out, hits the back of Grant Fuhr's skate and goes in. It was horrific. But it should galvanize them for Game 7. We shall see. Right now we have Doge 71 in first with 128 points. Big Show in second with 127. I am third with 124 points. If Dallas wins Game 7, I'll win the hockey pool. But they could very easily not win, and I won't win the hockey pool. So it does come down to that for me. Crystal Craig there in fourth. Garcia Gaming in fifth. Salty Pete in sixth. Ramon Scott in seventh. Dabra in eighth. Slatsy in ninth. Billy Friedrich in 10th. Mr. Gokster in 11th. Peter Loshak in 14th. Thank you guys so much for being a part of all of this. It's very, very enjoyable. And I would like to win it. Thank you to our guy Swiggy for hooking it all up and taking care of it. We got our NASCAR action for Fat Wally. Of course, it is horse racing time here. It is Derby week, and we're pumped up. Obviously, very extremely pumped up. Now that is now that I look at that track, that's Gulfstream in the background. I need to get Churchill Downs. I need to get the Twin Spires in the background, but it's still horses and thoroughbreds for that matter. NASCAR action here coming in from our guy Fat Wally. We have one game in NHL. Beautiful 14-game Friday MLB card. And then we have one game in NBA. Congratulations to those of you on the New York Knicks. The sure look good there for a little bit. But you got to say something for closers. Brunson, he's just a special basketball player. And it was a great basketball game. I did cash the double result, but that was fortunate. Zubac, a little tip in with 2.1 seconds left. I did felt bad for our friend Durrell, who lost on the Knicks first half plus a half. With Malik Beasley going off and hitting that three with no time left. I have been winning so much that I want to live. That's what's happened. I went and worked out yesterday, ran for over an hour. You start winning and you're like, maybe I should stick around for a little longer. So I did workout, trying to get in shape here. Also, because I'm going to drink for the Derby, and I'm a little worried about the gout. So gout felt a little better. So I worked out. We'll see if that brings me a glorious long life. We'll see if that brings me a glorious long life. Jose sent me a very cool background. I can't, I don't know how to do anything with that on the fly here. That is gorgeous, though, Jose. I'd like that Derby background. I mean, I can use it for when I'm on Racing with Razor later today and tomorrow. Great to see all of you guys. Good God, does it feel good? Good God, do we feel locked in? Frank Virginia says Rockies beat the Giants with the F. Look, I pushed the first 3 under 2. I didn't have a good day in MLB yesterday, 1 and 3 with 2 pushes. But I told you guys, Freeland likes pitching in that ballpark, man. Platinum Paul ready to get to work. The truth teller, Tory Coker. Tory Coker, let's do it. Let's run it back, Tory. Let's run it back. Panthers, Oilers, Stanley Cup final. That's the only way that the Oilers want it. They don't want to have to beat some average hockey team like the Capitals, Hurricanes, or Leafs. They want the Panthers. And I imagine they're going to get the Panthers, and they're going to beat the Panthers. Tori, my man, love capping with you. Gerald Jones, ready to go. Great to see you. Plays of the day for Topset and Justin McKelvey are in. Reds no last at bat. First 5 under 4.5 in the Rangers game. Jays and Cards. Justin McKelvey, Harper over 1.5 bases. Warriors team total over. Going to be a fun game. That's going to be a fun game. Fun, man. The NBA, look what happens when everybody's not, best friends. Wow, there's some real competition. Finally, it's been nice. It has been nice. Gerald Jones ready to get to work. Crystal Craig, I hope you know that you had the fastest camel and you added $50 to your bankroll yesterday, Crystal. Please email pubsportsradio@gmail.com. Not only did you add $50, Crystal, but I know you're up here in Canada. That's 50 American dollars. Those are the good dollars. Good dollars. Justin McKelvey says, shout out, Jimmy. Appreciate it. I appreciate you trusting me. I appreciate you. Also, it took till Friday, May 1st for me to hit my high watermark in NHL this year. It's similar to last year. I feel like I haven't taken a breath. I've not been comfortable. I've not been up double-digit units all season long, and I'm not even now. Right now, I'm up 9.59 units on the year. It's just every year, it's just a battle of the most difficult battle. And you can see all of the NHL cappers that put their picks out on X, they don't put their season-long record out with it. We know why that is. But you look, there's complete autonomy in this game, and you can do it however you want. And I don't say anything. I don't write, hey, what's your season-long record? Because I know what it is. Gorky in the house. Rude Draper, Moneyline, Michael Johnson, thank you. Says Fire Hiller. What are you supposed to do if you're Jim Hiller? And even though we've been looking at that review over and over again in game 4, Hiller's men are saying, challenge it for goalie interference. What are you supposed to do? Because Hiller didn't make that decision on his own. He had high-paid executives up there saying challenge of goalie interference. A review that we watched, for 5 minutes, and goalie interference didn't cross my mind. Should he have said no? It's too dangerous. The Oilers power play. Well, that would make him a great coach. I don't know. What's he supposed to do? Kelly McInnes, Troy Torrance says back up the truck. Yankees cash cow from our guy Troy Torrance. I tell you what, there was a couple things that made me work out. Troy Torrance and Wine Time Sports. They work out nonstop and they're healthy dudes. And also, Jose saying that he wasn't going to work out. That also helped me get to the gym. I was like,
You're welcome.
Thank you. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to follow in that guy's footsteps. All right. Crystal Craig says Oilers advance wild out. Gorky's got more action with Subotica and Panathinaikos. Gonna copy and paste that here. We have a great card today, and I'm looking forward to getting the NHL. And I think it's a fascinating first game in the NHL that we will talk about. Collins Clip says, I've hit a 15-1 or better parlay in the NHL 4 days straight. Now that ends today, only one game. Great job. And I hope you guys, now it wasn't as good. This time it was only plus 110 that I got live on the Oilers, but good God. The Oilers go down a goal, and it's a gift from the gods. And it's also, it's probably happened to you, right? Because it happened to me in this series but I ended up getting back in because they, again, fell back later. But you got to rush to the button and press it because they're about to score. And one time they did score, and I didn't get in on time. Great job, Kong. Series business ready to get to work. Thank you, Swiggy, for hooking us up here with the hockey pool update. Makes it a lot more fun when we get it updated all the time. Presidential Mind looking at sovereignty. It's a tough post, but Grande, who I was really excited about using, was just scratched or was scratched in the last 12 hours, 14 hours. So now there's a 19-horse field. So those horses at the very far end look a little better. Remember, there's no auxiliary gate anymore. These assholes, the Stronarchs, finally used some of their cash to build a gate, one big gate for the Derby. The Stronarchs have done damage to horse racing in North America. Damage, and I despise them. I even include Belinda. I hate all Stronarchs. I'm not gonna. Obviously, I hate the head of the Stronach family, but I've developed a hatred for all of them. Now, if you're children, I won't hate you. But you turn 18 and you got Stronach as your last name, I hate you. All right, let's get to work here. DC Capper, nice job on the New York Knicks. A lot of you guys, nice, picked up 2K with Jalen Brunson. Mr. Belvedere, there was no need for a rebound for me, man. I received a stipend from my local. It's okay. Look, you're not going to win them all. I was really bullish and really maybe a little overconfident, but I don't hate it when I'm overconfident, honestly, really, because you want me just to be wishy-washy up here when I'm on this heater? I'm not. Look, I've been on a 6-week run that followed a 6-week horror show. But when you're running like this, right now, you're just, you believe in your cap. I told you that everybody was laughing at me, and I said, look, the Oilers are going to win 4 straight against the Kings. And then they went and did it. I mean, it's fun. Derby Best Bet says, Michael Johnson, I've got a lot of work to do. AM in the house has got a ton of CLV today. It's funny how that works, but I think in the long run, that's what we want. But I get it. The same thing happens to me in NHL. The more CLV I have on a total, I have a negative ROI. It's the craziest shit. It's just crazy. And Peter's talked about that for 8 years. 8 years. Slatsy's on the Blues money line. I cannot wait to talk about this game. Because we'll get into it, but I would put pause on this one. I would put pause on that. All right, great to see all of you guys. Nasty Nate confident on the Celtics Knicks. That's going to be a great series. There's Wine Time Sports again, 38-23 on our show. I'll have to ask Peter, but I've never had anybody do quite like this in MLB. Now, TJ was on his way to doing it last year, and then his father died, and he had to man up, take care of some family things right near the the last couple months of this season, and we just didn't get him enough. My man Big Zo in the house. Jason Meyer, the Eldorado, a custodian. Crystal Craig says winning that Camel race yesterday was a pleasant surprise. I was 50. Oh, okay, dope. Oh, and Slatsy's also moving on the over 5.5. I can't wait to talk about this game. And you probably already know, Slatsy, with the way the market has represented itself, how I'm feeling in this game. You probably get it. Billy Friedrich says no love for the. Oh, sorry, I missed it. Jesus, that was my bad. No, of course I have love for the. Now this is at least here. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I imagine this is going to be the third straight day that I'm going to be on the other side of it in some form of pig milk. But I have so much love for pig milk, and we are building the graphic. It's just we're a little the focus is on our big new Sunday show, which you guys did a great job helping us name. We thank you very much. But good God, pig milk's been absolutely spectacular. All right, Rez Mob, Robert McCormick, AM's Jets money line just added. I can't wait to talk about it. Mr. Beldier says looking to fire on the Blues. And look, again, we're just going to talk about how I see it. Okay, so and that doesn't necessarily mean, look, Mr. Belvedere and I were on the other side yesterday, and you won, Lynn, and you could win again today. It's just how it works. Okay, let's roll. Can't Stop AC 357 in the house. Respect. We got Black Thor King ready to get to work. T-Moss 9 Legacy, Action Jackson, presidential minded Kings, Fernando Mendoza. What a great guy Fernando is. Always has our back. All right, let's roll here. And 9 Legacy says, say what you mean and mean what you say. That way, everything you say will be respected. If you're not confident in every fucking thing that you do, you should not be doing it. Look, man, if I could use that, I should think about that more. I should think that more. Respect to 9 Legacy. And DC Capper played every game in NHL Parlay. Only lost was the Wild. It's too bad. In the end, they got outclassed. And I know what the Oilers are going to do to the Knights. So let's go to battle, man. All right, let's get to work in the National Hockey League. We have one game on the card, and I have so much to say about it. Now, we're not going to sit here for 10 minutes. We don't need that. But let's get to work here. 8 p.m. Eastern, West first round, Game 6. Winnipeg leading the series 3-2. Winnipeg Jets 50. Oh, let's get this background switched up, man. We don't. Come on. Let's. We're gonna. Horses are important. Don't get me wrong. But come on. All right, we are at our high water mark of the year. It's not been a good season. You think I want a 1.5% ROI? No. You watch me beat NHL every single year, and it's never easy. It's always a grind. I'm barely surviving. I can't keep my head above water. It's the hardest thing I do every year. It's just a fucking battle. Now baseball's harder, but this is supposed to be my bread and butter, so it weighs on me more. This is not good enough. It's playoff time. Let's climb. Limited benefits, Blues and regulation. Blues team total over 3, Blues -1. Of course, right? Limited benefits. Of course. Why would anybody think otherwise? Right? Troy, I'm trying to find a way. I've been putting the race together for a long time, and now that Grande's out, the Pletcher horse only 3 races on his belt. I'm getting closer. And we're going to talk about it on Racing with Razor. I'm getting closer, and I will definitely message you. And I'm thankful that your pops cares about it. Okay. And Kong says, what about catching that first period over? Yeah, Mr. Hartman is who you need to thank there. And AM says, Tis-tastic win straight up. I'd love to see it. Lucas Ryan ready to get to work. Okay, so let's talk about this game here. So first off, you have to ask yourself. And look, hockey's a very honest sport. That's why I love capping it so much. Troy and I were talking about the cleanest sport. I believe the NHL is the cleanest sport to gamble on. You have the star center, Mark Scheifele, who does everything. And rest in peace to the great Dale Hawerchuk, who pushed Winnipeg hard to draft him. Dale Hawerchuk is not talked about. He's a phenomenal hockey player. 100-point scorer as an 18-year-old. Easily one of the greatest to ever do it. Was on the ice and helped set up the Gretzky to Lemieux banger and rendezvous 87 against the Russians. Shout out to Dale Hawerchuk. He's not talked about enough. He's a phenomenal guy and first ballot Hall of Famer, not talked about enough. So we have no Scheifele and we have no Nikolai Ehlers. The first line centerman who does everything, gone. Nikolai Ehlers, a power play specialist, top 6 forward, sniper of the highest quality, was better than Laine, so they got rid of Laine. Gone. And yet, with the St. Louis Blues on a 14-game winning streak at the Enterprise Center. We have minus 108 for the St. Louis Blues. To take this further, the St. Louis Blues opened up as dogs at plus 100. Dogs. Shout out to Coco Bongo. Man, we've missed Coco Bongo. Coco Bongo, I've missed you, man. It's not as fun drinking without you. Coco Bongo and Justin McKelvey gifting Pub Sports Radio memberships. Thank you guys so much. Oh, Res Mob, play of the day here. I don't want to miss these things. They're so important. Ron Crawford, play of the day. St. Louis, of course. St. Louis. How could anybody think otherwise except for the market? But yes, you put these numbers in, you take Scheifele out and Nikolai Ehlers out of the lineup. Yeah, I get it. Copied and pasted here. And did I get Rez's? Thought I had Rez's here. There we go. Resmond parlay today. Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure it's you guys that make the show special. I need to know what you're on. So why in the have you ever seen this? Let me ask you this. Have you ever seen this before in professional sports? A team on a 14-game home winning streak at home against a team whose arguably best player and another top 6 forward are injured, and the team that's won 14 straight opens up as a dog. Have you ever seen that before? I haven't. So, yes, there's been a move towards the St. Louis Blues. And they're opened up at plus 100. And it sat at plus 100 for 5 hours. Sat at plus 100 for 5 hours. And then it started moving towards the Blues. I imagine, those who have odds logic, I still haven't got there, but, we'll have it here shortly. And I'm not using Wager Talk again. We could use that as well. But I imagine, this will have a heavy amount of tickets on the Blues, and we don't. 50% of the tickets and 54% of the cash on the Blues. Wow, that's wild. Nuke Worker, a Blues puck line, of course. Every single person that I know now, except for AM, is on the Blues. Well, why wouldn't you be? Okay, so let's talk about it. Connor Hellebuck. Oh, and with the odds logic, 60% taking 73% money on the Blues. That makes a little more sense. 9 Legacy bet Winnipeg. And the Rockets, all the spread 2-game parlay. Oh, wow, 9 Legacy. That's exciting. So Connor Hellebuck is about to win his third Vezina Trophy, not third straight, as the best goaltender in the league. And he's been bad. And he's been bad on the road. And I simply don't believe that he is incapable of these moments. I simply don't believe that Binnington is his better goaltender on the ice. Not a chance. Binner has an .893 save percentage. So far in this series, the power play for the Jets is just 14.3, while the Blues is 31.6. The Jets are losing in every facet of the game except when they are at the Canada Life Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Let's take a look at this total. The total here is a 5.5 minus 139 to the under. It opened up minus 142 to the under. Very low. Very, very low. So Kyle Connor had a goal and 2 assists. Let's set this one up. And the Jets won 5-3 against the Blues in Game 5 of the Western Conference first round in Manitoba. Connor had another 3-point game. It's his second in the playoffs, 4th of his career. That ties for the most in Jets Thrashers history. Nemesnikov will be replacing him. Vladislav Nemesnikov will be replacing him on the first line and on the first power play line. Nemesnikov and Niederreiter each had a goal and assist, and Mason Appleton had 3 assists for the Jets. Hellebuck only made 16 saves. He's not been playing very well. The Jets held the Blues to less than 20 shots for the second time in this series. The Blues had 10 shots on goal in the third after generating just 9 shots through 2 periods. Connor made it 1-0, a minute and 23 in. A perfect pass from Mark Scheifele, and Scheifele did not return in the second period. He's taken a couple hard hits. So Nemestikov comes in, and he gets the goal and an assist. It was his first goal in 21 games. I mean, we're going back to March 11th. So Scheifele, their leader, doesn't come out. Now, I know Adam Lowry's their captain. They do everything captain, but Scheifele is a huge leader. And what did the Jets do? They responded. And how often do we see that in a hockey team or a basketball team? They become more than the sum of their parts, So the first period without Scheifele, what did the Jets go do? They outshoot the Blues 14-3. Now, he didn't travel with the team to St. Louis, and it's a huge loss. 6 points in 5 games. Second on the Jets in playoff scoring behind the great Kyle Connor of Michigan, the great state of Michigan. When Arniel was asked if Scheifele was in concussion protocol, his answer was, I'm not going down that road. You'll notice that a lot of the coaches that succeed in the NHL playoffs are the toughest guys I've ever seen. Scott Arniel will punch you in the face, and he won't talk about the injury. Scheifele had 87 points, 39 goals, 48 assists in 82 games, regular season games. Second behind Kyle Connor, who had 97 points, 41 goals, 56 assists. So Gabe Vilardi returns, and we're talking about being more than the sum of your parts, So Gabe Vilardi, in his first game back, upper body injury kept him out last 11 games of the regular season, first 4 of the playoffs. He blocked 4 shots in 18 minutes. The Jets are all in, and I know they've not succeeded in the playoffs ever. I get it. So now we come to the Enterprise Center, where this team, the Blues, have not lost since February 22nd, and they open up as dogs. Now, I know it's not a sport, and I always say what you see is what you get. There are gifts, and you guys are expecting a gift here. And all of you guys on the Blues are expecting this gift. I see it. I get it. The last time that the Blues lost at the Enterprise Center, February 22nd, was to the Winnipeg Jets. And we all watched Game 3 and Game 4. They didn't just beat the Jets at the Enterprise Center. They destroyed them. They outscored them 12-3. Hellebuck was pulled in each game. This is the first time in his postseason career that's ever happened. This is the only Stanley Cup playoff series so far in which the home team has won every game. So why would the Blues on a 14-game winning streak open up as a dog without the Jets' best 2 players? It's the first series in which the home team has won each of the first 5 games since 2022 Eastern Conference second round Rangers Hurricanes. In that series, the home team won every game until Game 7 when the Rangers eliminated the Hurricanes in Carolina. And you could be sitting there listening to this breakdown and say, well, that's what's going to happen here. Without Scheifele available, the Blues are going to dominate the Jets in Game 6, at the Enterprise Center, and then they're going to go up to Winnipeg, to the Canada Life Center, and they're going to beat them and move on. And you're probably sitting there very confident, happy that Scheifele was out, and I get it. So I am going to bet the under in this hockey game. And I wanted just to talk it out. I'm not going to bet the under 5.5. I'm going to bet the under 5. Nuke says, I guess we can agree to disagree on this one. Absolutely. Absolutely. I guess this is just a gift from the books for hockey cappers. I'm going to bet the under 5 at plus money in this hockey game. And that will be my only bet. This is what Scott Arniel said about this hockey game. Now, remember, we have the most honest sport in the world. We have a team on a 14-game winning streak at home that opened up as a dog at home against a team missing 2 of their top 6 forwards. You have the 3-time about-to-be Vezina Trophy winning goaltender who's looked like trash and was pulled from these 2 games last time he was here. And you guys are going to sit back and say, that group of men in that room is not going to step up tonight. And that's fine. You don't have to say that. We don't have to agree. This is part of the fun. This is what Scott Arniel said about this hockey game, and I believe him. He said, this is going to be a meet
and potato kind of work zone to zone game. Get out of our zone, get through that neutral zone, and then make them spend some time in their end of the work, in their end of the rink. He says, not having Nicholas Ehlers, not having Scheif kind of knocks out a couple of your top 6 forwards. So this is straightforward. Grind it out kind of work. Fight for every inch and get those greasy goals. A lot like we scored last night. So here we go. Every single person in the chat saying that the Blues are going to win this easily. And maybe you guys are all right. And after all of this, I'm not betting on the Jets. But I'm going to bet on the under at plus money. I'm going to trust the work ethic. I'm going to trust it all. And, we can both win. We can all win in this one. And, if it's 7-1 Blues and the Blues win their 15th straight game at the Enterprise Center and the books just, opened up their coffers and gifted all of these hockey cappers all this money, then God bless them. And good luck to you guys tonight. There we go. Lucas Ryan, I believe the under 5 at plus money is a Jets bet. Don't you? Lucas? Don't you believe that's a Jets bet? If my most confident angle in this game is that the Jets are going to come to fucking play and there's not going to be an inch available on the ice, don't you think that's a Jets bet? I believe it is. I don't need to put 2 units on my angle. I'm on the under 5 at plus money. So there we go. Tyler Flowers says, thoughts on Edmonton, Florida finals future. I'd bet it. And in fact, it's probably not worth it, but might be best just to get in and hedge that, hedge my position on the Oilers now with the Panthers, because that feels like a runaway train. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, Tyler, I've told you guys, I only think there's one team that can beat the Oilers, and that's Dallas, and they're not fully healthy. And I don't know if they even get out of this first round against the Hurricanes. Against the Avalanche. If the Avalanche, sorry, let me just mess this on here very quickly. If the Avalanche get past, if we get to see Avalanche Oilers, in the conference final, that's wonderful. That's just incredible. Okay, let's roll. And Gorky says the Oilers and Leafs lose second round. That's great. That's great, Gorky. I imagine if you're sitting back there saying, and you didn't get all this fucking money off of the Oilers, that you would be upset too and say, "Oh, they'll lose in the next round." I get it. Now I am counting all this fucking money, Gorky, and I'm just getting ready to count some more fucking money. That's why I'm getting ready. And you guys don't need to, you can just sit back and say they're going to lose in the next round. Or remember when this series started, there was nobody but me, Justin McKelvey, and Jeff Slaughter on the Oilers. Every single person was on the Kings. And after 2 games, everybody was on the Kings. And that's when we took the 4-2 plus 900. And then when it was 2-2, everybody was like, wait till the Kings go back home and blah, fucking blah, as I count my fucking money. All right, let's get into Major League Baseball, shall we? We have a beautiful 14-game card, and we have something very exciting as well here. We have not only the #1 Major League Baseball capper here on the channel, not only do we have it, and sorry about that, Saturated. Look, they're not all, it's not all winners. Not only do we have the #1 baseball capper here on our channel, now I'm going to keep telling Peter Loshak just how good Wine Time is doing. 38 and 23, 62.3%, plus 15.03 units, ROI plus 24.64%. I'm going to keep telling them over and over again to see if maybe, because Peter right now on our show, as he does, Peter right now is at 26 and 17. Peter's at 60.5%, plus 7.7 units with a 13.9% ROI. So maybe Peter has something to say about this. Maybe TJ has something to say about this. But we also have, making his season debut in Major League Baseball, Mr. Troy Torrence joining us as well. So we're going to have a four-headed monster here in Major League Baseball today. Please welcome my co-host here on Betting with the Bag, our producer, the star of Say Hey Plays, coming to us from our home studio in San Antonio, Texas, the Southtown 101, best bar in Texas. Got to roll through Southtown 101 if you're ever in San Antonio. Please welcome Mr. Jose Bouquet to the show. Jose, how are you?
Excuse me. I'm doing well, Jimmy. Can't complain. Good day yesterday. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's do exactly that. My friend. Let's begin by bringing on the man who is at 62.3% with a 24.64% ROI, and that's over 61 bets. This guy's hot right now, and we all are. This channel is. And it's not always this way. And I keep telling you guys, when it's this way, you put your foot down on the gas pedal and you risk everything. Now, keep your unit size, keep your bankroll. You don't need to add to your unit size right now. I don't even think it makes sense. I think that you set certain goals. Once your bankroll reaches a certain level, you can go up a small increment. So I don't mean it too much about the risking of our lives, but I don't know how I'm still sitting here. And it's thanks to this last 6-week run. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California, Mr. Wine Time Sports to the show. Wine Time, what's good, man? How are you?
Jimmy the Bag, my guy, Jose Bouquet. Good to see you guys per usual, man. Woke up this morning, 6 a.m., got to the gym, hit my 10 sprints. Feeling great this morning, man. Ready to attack. I'm going to do a little throwback to Pubpalooza, what Jimmy would do right before we're about to cap a sport. Let's pull this bad boy out right here. You guys don't got to do it with me, but I'm going to. It's a Friday. You know what I mean?
No, I got to do it with you. I got
it.
It's Derby Day. Just a sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Let's go. What about you, Jose? Can you grab something from behind the bar at Southtown? Mute.
This fucking asshole back here, I'm muted. God damn it. Yeah, I'll grab something here in a second. I'll wait for our friend Jimmy the Bag to get back here.
Wine time's like fucking McConaughey and Two for the Money, man. Just working out and picking winners all fucking day. Let's bring on our next guest as well. We're going to wait till we're all together to have this shot. But please welcome, making his season debut here in Major League Baseball after back-to-back extremely impressive NFL seasons, coming to us from Chicago. Please welcome our guy, Mr. Troy Torrence, to the festivities. Troy, what's good, man? How are you?
I'm doing freaking great, man. It's Friday. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here, and I'm glad I get to open my card on Bet with the Bag with a play that I'm very confident in.
I'm excited. I'm excited to have you here with us. Gorky says Oilers need to win games 8-7. That can't work always. Do you remember the 1992 Stanley Cup, Gorky? Do you remember the Pittsburgh Penguins taking out the Stars 4-2 by winning games 8-5? I remember it well, and this team reminds me of that team. McDavid, Draisaitl, Lemieux, Jagger. How long are you able to get in the live bet on the Oilers when they're down? Because you better run to the computer. Justin McKelvey saying he'll do a shot with us now. And Gorky, it's part of the fun. Gorky, look, we don't all have to agree. It's part of the fun. It's part of the fun. It's part of the fun. And I'm really enjoying all the fucking money I'm counting. Jose Bouquet ready to rock with us here. Just before we get into Major League Baseball, the thing that our guy Wine Time said a few days ago, I think it was on the Friday. I think it was a 7-2 day or something like that. And he said, we must keep winning. And it's as simple as that. It's simple as that. When I was at Pubapalooza, I needed to hang out with you guys. I needed to get out of the funk. I needed Troy to be up at 6 a.m. capping. I needed to see that. I needed to see certain things, and I saw it with our crew. There's nothing more important than our capping together, and we must win. My dude says winning.
It's not just getting up at 6 a.m. It's after being out till 2 a.m. and drinking, 12 hours consecutive the day before. That's what makes the 6 a.m. fucking start time.
Also, were we even tired when we woke up at 6 a.m.?
No, I felt like I felt like $1 million. Like I was a newborn child. I was fresh.
You wake up like this. You wake up like this.
I won't forget the first morning we woke up. It was like 6 a.m. and Razor, you know how loud he is. He screams at the top of his lungs, "It's time to wake up, motherfuckers. Let's make some fucking money." And I got right out of bed and I was like, "All right, let's do it, Razor. Let's go."
This group, it's one of a kind. We're one of a kind. It's one of a kind. Drinks up, fellas. Drinks up. We must keep winning. We don't have the opportunity to do this without all these great cappers in the chat that support us. Thank you guys with all my heart and with everybody you see on screen. Thank you guys for your support. It is Derby weekend. We have a 14-game Major League Baseball card that we're about to attack, and let's go get that cash. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for supporting the show. Feels good.
Malibu just hit you right in the chest, doesn't it, lads?
That feels good. King Al, no worries, man. And I'm happy that you got the Knicks. That's again, like, we don't need to agree. We're all trying to get to the same spot. We don't need to travel in the same car. Respect, King Al. Let's go, fellas. We're going to go around the horn here. And so I'm going to mark down who starts each game. So Jose will be getting us started, and then we'll go to wine time, and then to our guy Troy. So I've got that all set up here, and we'll just go around the horn in that order. So let's get to work. 6:10 p.m. Eastern. We start with the Washington Nationals, 14-18, 5-11 on the road. At the Cincinnati Reds, 17-15, 8-8 at home. We're at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. We got a real beautiful pitching matchup here, and what feels like a great opportunity to back Mitchell Parker in the bounce back start. He just got absolutely annihilated. His numbers are still really impressive, but he got annihilated. But he got annihilated with hits, no homers. I mean, some barrels, but it wasn't too much. It was a 5-inning, 7-hit, 6-earned run, no homers, no Ks, 5 walks, an 8-7 win at home over the Mets. And he's going up against another very, very impressive young pitcher in Hunter Green, who is truly matured in front of our very eyes. Let's get into the cash flow here. The weather here. 75 Fahrenheit, feels like 74 Fahrenheit. We have possible drizzle and light rain throughout the entire game. And, I think they should start it an hour early. And shout out to our friend Michael Piccioni, gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Means a ton to us, Michael. Thank you, my friend. So I wonder if we expect the rain to cause havoc or create havoc, or I'd be very, very curious to hear what everybody thinks about it. And there's our guy, Chill Will, in the house. Has let me in on this dono train now that I already hit the like button. The great Chill Will and Lil Domo, quite possibly our favorite father-son capping crew right there, Chill Will and Lil Domo. Thank you, Chill Will. You're a great friend of the channel. It meant a ton to us that you came through with Uncle Mike and with Domo to Pubapalooza 5. It meant a ton to us. This total is at 8.5. It opened up at 8.5, and then it dropped to 8. It dropped to 8. The under 8 was never juiced, but it was moving in that direction. And then we've had a flip back. It's moved to 8.5, and it has just skyrocketed up. We have the 8.5 so skyrocketed that it's 9s at a lot of these places. This 8.5 I'm looking at is minus 118 to the over, which means now we've had a 15-cent move to the over when we had a real legitimate move to the under off the hop. Those always make me uncomfortable, those types of situations here. From a money line standpoint, we have the Cincinnati Reds at minus 175. They opened up at minus 163. We've had a 12-cent move towards them, but this wasn't in play either. This line came out at midnight. The initial move was towards the Washington Nationals. If I was like last year or years prior, I would have thought the under was the sharp side and the Nats were the sharp side, and I would have come to the show with those bets. I do not trust myself in baseball, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to wait for the market to marinate and to hear from you guys, and that's what's happening here. Jose will go over the cash flow numbers. Mitchell Parker, the lefty, 3-1 with a 2.65 ERA, 1.13 whip. We already discussed him getting hammered by the Mets, but I mean, lefties aren't hitting him, 190, 599 OPS. Righties aren't hitting him, 198, 516 OPS, but he did get smacked up last game. Hunter Green coming off yet another quality start despite allowing 2 home runs. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 8 Ks, didn't walk a batter in a 6-4 win at the Rockies. That's a quality start in the thin air of Colorado. Now, we know it's not warm at this point. He's been phenomenal all year. 2.70 ERA, 0.85 whip, 43 strikeouts, and 36 2/3. Lefties get to him a little. 211, 700 OPS. He destroys right-handed bats. 156, 491 OPS. Nats versus righties, 243, 720 OPS. Reds versus lefties, 222, 687 OPS. They're having trouble, and the Nats bullpen is a real problem. While the Reds bullpen, 3.41 ERA, 1.09 whip has looked very, very good. So let's get started. Jose Bouquet around the horn. Take it away, Nats, Reds.
Yeah, I've got nothing on this game so far. I'll mention here that 60% of the bets, 60% of the bets, 56% of the money on the Nationals here. 63% of the bets, 59% of the money on the under. I can only really lean under. These are 2 pitchers, that I like a lot. God, that burp just tasted of Malibu there again. But yeah, I ended up staying off this game. I like both these pitchers. I like both these teams, honestly. But these are both bullpens that I just cannot trust, really. The Reds just sent down their closer. The Nationals are horrible bullpen, at least, and they know it. They made it a bullpen addition by adding Andrew Chafin. So I'm off this game. This would be, again, if I was a different person last year, this game kind of screens first 5 under to me. But we don't do that anymore. So no, thank you. I'm off.
Wine Time Sports, Nationals, Reds.
Yeah, 2 pitchers I really like. 2 young pitchers as well. Washington Nationals, I mean, this is probably the scrappiest team we've seen in the MLB in quite some time this year. Doesn't seem like they ever give up in these games, especially when it comes down to the 8th and 9th inning. You touched on it as well, Jim. This bullpen's been struggling a lot this year for the Washington Nationals. Looking at the Cincinnati Reds, another inconsistent team offensively. 2 games in a row, they'll go out there and score 1 run combined, and then 2 games, they'll score 20 runs. You just really don't know what you're going to get with the Cincinnati Reds team. Seeing them here at this much of a price against Mitchell Parker, a guy that I like to back. I'm not going to back the Nationals here because the price seems too good to be true here. Right now, my book is giving me a plus 165 on the Washington Nationals. Something smells a little fishy here, but I wouldn't, you know what? Cincinnati Reds on the run line at plus 110 looks like pretty good money, because if the Reds win this game, I don't expect them to win by 1 run. I expect them to win by multiple runs, because that's what they do typically. They either lose by multiple runs or win by multiple runs. So with that being said, definitely have a lean towards the Reds here in this spot. Nothing official for me, though. Got a lot of action today that I still haven't moved on, that I want to move on. This isn't one of them.
It's great to have Troy here to give us, as we all get to the bag in such different ways. I'm starting to feel like I'm seeing things so clearly. And I was wrong about the Pistons, but I feel like I'm seeing things so clearly in NHL and NBA. Now, my MLB unit size only $50 less, and NBA is at the same as MLB. I haven't even put that up. And the player props are $50 less than that, or $200 a bet. I don't want to have too high volume right now. And if this was last year, I would have come to this show already with the Nats and the under. And maybe those are good looks, but this move back to the Reds and move back to the over is interesting. And we have just the man who can break down those angles. And if they succeed, don't forget, we saw that huge market move to the Twins. And Troy told us yesterday, this is the type of, money environment where you don't chase the steam. And, it took extra innings, but the Guardians got the bag. Take it away, Troy. Nationals, Reds.
It was actually the day before that, too, where the line was flying towards the Twins and I backed the Guards. It's almost like, usually I back the road team in that spot, but now that my sample's grown with these markets, you could see these spots, these tight lines is really where you could take advantage. And really the steam is misleading in the MLB. And you, Jimmy, I knew it. Like, there was one day I texted you. I was like, Jimmy, you're about to go on an absolute rampage. Like, I was basically congratulating him before this run started. So it's just awesome to see you succeed.
I remember that message.
Yeah,
I remember it well, and I love that you have confidence and faith in me. So
all
thank
right.
you.
Well, Nationals, Reds, you guys already touched on it. 2 quality pitchers. Nationals coming off a road win with travel. True Teller was touching on the chat. It's, the Nationals on the road have not been great. 5-11 on the season. Ron Crawford is on the Reds. That also makes me want to look the Reds way. And Reds off a get right spot at home. You have a good game. You stay at home. You got a team traveling. I feel like it's a feel good spot. Maybe it's a chance for them to build momentum. We know this Reds is an extremely streaky team where they look like one of the best teams in the league for a week, then one of the worst teams the next week. And this goes back like 2 or 3 years at this point. My problem with this game is because I do want to get to the Reds. We have 2 great pitchers, but I think one is more, probably fits the profile of a rain game better. I think Parker's stuff, his ability to, I think I just say that because I know Hunter Green. We've seen him, like I've seen him. We've seen him in Colorado this year. It was a misty, foggy game. Last year at home in Pitt, there was a game it was raining. And in Wrigley Field, one game it was raining. He looked terrible. He could not command the ball. And he was giving up heat. I feel like he lost his movement, couldn't command it. And he got touched on all 3 of those spots. So that's kind of what's keeping me back a little bit. But the database, home team priced between -200, -170 after a move towards the home team, and a total between 8 and 9.5 in conference. It's a little weird because Great American Small Park, they have traditionally higher totals, so you have to kind of adjust for that a little bit. 71 and 35 is the home team, 67%, 51 and 55 on the run line, 48%. Both of them are slightly profitable spots to bet. But with the sharp action on the road team in this situation, in terms of the cash flow, that 60% drops down to 60% and 42% respectively on the run line. So I just don't feel as confident as to move on this game. Although I would be on the Reds, and I do want to bet unders in Great American Small Park when you're looking at it between 8, 7, 8. I think it's 8.75 right now, lower than 9, which it pretty much is at this point.
So the Nats are plus 155 here at 365 full game, and they're plus 150 first 5, inferring that there's an advantage with Mitchell Parker on the hill compared to Hunter Green. Do you agree with that sentiment, Troy?
I do because I've watched Green in these situations with rain, with mist, with weather conditions, and I feel like he's lost it every time I've seen him.
Because we are in TJ's world now. This is TJ's favorite bet. Look, I don't know if he's on it. He's partying with some friends. They got a cabin. They're taking a few days just to have some fun. But the first 5 plus a half is basically an even money situation, which is interesting here. True Teller says feels like a Reds spot. I'm surprised the Nats are 14 and 18, and we probably should take a closer look at what they're doing at home. But let's. I have some interest in the first 5 plus a half on the Nats. In that kind of, I can come full circle then on my original thought on this was that Mitchell Parker was going to bounce back. And I really feel that way. And this is a Reds team that's not hitting lefties. And then, are the Nats able
to want to play instead of the first 5 plus a half? What about the team total under for the Reds coming off a 9-run game? They got a quality lefty coming into town. Database says to bet the under, especially in Great American Small Park, 9 or less.
Well, it would have to be a first 5 team total because I still can't trust the Nats bullpen. And maybe that's a mistake to in this type of situation. But I think I might get to the window on this one. We're a 4-headed monster, so we got to keep the ball moving. Let's roll on to the next game. None of our cappers on screen have moved on this one. True Teller again says feels like a Reds spot. And we had our guy, Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play of the day is the Cincinnati Reds on the run line in Major League Baseball. And shout out to our friend, Mr. Ron Crawford. We move on to PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Wine Time will be hitting leadoff for this breakdown. It is possible light rain and drizzle throughout here as well. This game is not in red on RotoWire. The Washington-Cincinnati game is, and the Washington-Cincinnati game is our only game in red. Padres, Pirates here, the San Diego Padres 19-11, but that work is being done at home. They're just 5-7 on the road, while the Pirates look like it's another lost year. I mean, it'd be very frustrating to be a Pirates fan. Dylan Cease was a pitcher that was on Jose's list to fade. So was Chris Sale. I really want to push Jose harder on these lists before the year starts. Who am I fading and who am I going to back? Because the amount of work he does in the offseason will give him an advantage, and it has worked here. Dylan Cease, 1-2, 5.76 ERA, 1.62 whip, 36 strikeouts over 29 2/3 with 12 walks. He's allowed 3 home runs. His last start was okay. You know, it was at home versus the Rays. It was a 4-1 loss. I mean, the sticks didn't help him. 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 1 home run, 6 Ks, 4 walks. Lefties and righties are both hitting them. It's no real difference. I mean, righties have a little bit better numbers, but less power. Lefties are hitting 254, 796 against them, while righties are hitting 328, 836 against them. And then, Jose, if you could please put up the picture of our friend Helen Mitch Keller. Hear no evil and get them all out. 1-2, 3.97 ERA, 1.29 whip, 26 strikeouts. 26 strikeouts, 11 walks, and 2 home runs. His last start was, I thought, very impressive. I think his splits are going to work themselves out. I think he's going to be a bet-on pitcher at home. But he finally had a good road start. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and 8-4 loss at the Dodgers. He looked great. And it's lefties that get to him. He gets righties out comfortably and easily. So it's lefties that get to him. So, who are we worried about? Luis Ariz, Gavin Sheets, Tyler Wade, Justin Hayward. Oh, shit. That sounds pretty good. You don't have to worry about Tatis. You don't have to worry about Machado. You don't have to worry about Xander Bogaerts. And that will also create Jose Iglesias to go 0-4. Padres versus righties, 264, 720 OPS. Pirates versus righties, 222, 647 OPS. Padres bullpen exceptional this year. 1.77 ERA, 0.96 whip, while the Pirates bullpen has had some bad luck, basically. The expectation is that they'll get better now statistically, but they weren't supposed to be a good pen coming in here. So, oh, wow, interesting, Gorky. And we heard that Nikolai was in practice too, so important stuff. Thank you for letting us know, my friend. So let's just take a quick look at the line history. Jose will go over the cash numbers because we just want to, I think, just put a line through anything the Action Network does. And I probably should have figured that out sooner, and I apologize for that. We have the Pittsburgh Pirates at plus 136. They opened up at plus 131, a tiny move towards the Padres. And then from a total standpoint here, we have an 8, and it's minus 109 to the under. This opened up minus 114 to the under. So then, we talk a lot about how my ROI on first 5 sides is at its best when there's a 10-cent difference. No more, no less on the first 5 than the full game. When it's too much, it doesn't seem to work. When there's no advantage, it doesn't seem to work. The Pirates are plus 135 at 365 on the full game. And then on the first 5, they're plus 125, which is that 10-cent wheelhouse. They're also dogs, which means you can pay for the first 5 plus a half if you so desire. Wine Time Sports, Padres, Pirates, take it away.
Yeah, this is a game when I was capping it yesterday. I almost moved on the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think I could have gotten a plus 135 last night. It was kind of going everywhere last night before I went to bed, though, when I was capping it, and I decided to see what the market was going to tell me this morning. Looking at a couple of my books right now, it's about plus 140 to plus 142 at a couple of different ones. So it's moving away. The line's moving towards the Padres. Mitch Keller's definitely a guy I like to back. Dylan Cease has been struggling this year. He's had a couple, not so quality starts. He's definitely striking out batters still. I think he's going to adjust. His numbers will get better as the season goes on. This Pirates team too. This batting order is nothing to write home about by any means. They got a couple guys in there. Don't get me wrong. Padres got one of the best lineups in baseball still. Got a lot of good guys in that lineup. Seeing the line does definitely look a little weird here because it is Dylan Cease. I know his numbers don't look good, but it's still Dylan Cease. I mean, this guy's still a top pitcher. He's still a really good pitcher in baseball. Mitch Keller's a really good pitcher as well. It's too tough of a game. I have a lean towards the Pirates, but my lean, it's almost not even a lean at this point because the line's moving away from the Pirates, which makes me think the Padres are the play here. Pirates 12-20 going into this one. Yeah, I mentioned it's probably tough to be a fan. It's also tough to be an Angel fan, guys. Let's keep that in mind as well. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to end up staying away from this one. I originally had a lean to the Pirates, and I was very close. I was texting Spoons last night about it. I was like, I think I'm going to move on the Pirates. Didn't end up doing it. I'm not going to. Going to stay away from this game. Should be a good one, though. But my lean now is towards the Padres, and I'm not going to lay -155, and I don't want to lay a -1 or a run line here. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stay away from this game.
The under that AM is on, Tariq B is also on. Coin has some interest in it as well. I can understand that. Troy Torrance, Padres Pirates.
Yeah, this is a game I did move on. So looking at the state of the Padres, their lineup, what they've been through over the past few series, and their travel situation today, right away it made me want to look towards the Pirates. You know, Mitch Keller, he's a pitcher I believe in. He's got a 5.29 xERA. That's down from 8 though after a second start against the Yankees. And Cease, he's actually, you know, expected to progress, have favorable regression. He has like a 5/5 ERA, and he's projected to be about a 3.2 xERA. So I expect Cease to be better, but when you watch Cease starts, it's definitely not the White Sox Cease that you see on the mound. I mean, he doesn't have the command. His pitches don't have as much movement after the third or fourth inning. But all I really needed to do to move on this is make sure the database profiled this well, and it did. Home teams between +120, +150 moved to the road team with 60% of cash on that road team, and it's out of division, which is very important. Like you see how drastic the market differences are in and out of division. The home team is 44-43 in that situation, 51%. And if you see at some books, this line has moved significantly. At the book I'm looking at right now, 20 cents. We had 20 cents a line movement. So what happens if a line moved 10 or more cents? And I made a post on this the other day on Twitter. The more a line moves in some of these situations, the less effective it is chasing steam. And that makes complete sense to me. But if that line in that same market moved 10 or more cents, the home team is now 15-7 straight up, 68%. And in every one of these profiles, it all plays to the under. So what I did is I played the Pirates. I played them first 5. I don't trust the bullpen. Maybe it's just because I've seen the series they had against the Cubs. I know they got some guys, mainly Holderman is a guy that he's been struggling and he's been giving it up, but yeah, we know he's a quality pitcher. He's from my neck of the woods. But we have a bunch of profiles to the under in this situation. I moved first 5 under 4 +105, and I moved Pirates first 5 +125. I put a half a unit on both.
That all makes sense to me, and I could turn that into a first 3 as well. And then you spoke about the bias at this point with the Pirates bullpen. So
I was looking at the first 3 now too. I got Bet365 to start considering the first 3s and the unders in those situations. It's -125, I think, last I checked, and I was really thinking about that as well.
So can you give me give me the exact bets here so I can track them?
First 5 under 4 +105. Pirates first 5 money line +125.
Did you think about the +0.5?
I did think about it, and that's something that I might add. This is a market that's still, we're still hours and out or 5 hours away from the game right now. I might add. Usually I do split when I bet the money line for a half a unit, I have the spread for a half a unit as well.
I like all of this. And the Pirates bullpen's been a little better than the simpler statistics indicate.
Yeah.
I wonder if interesting. Okay. I'd like to be involved in this game as well. Jose Bouquet, take it away. Padres Pirates.
I'll quickly give you guys the market here. 55% of the bets, 57% of the money on the Padres here. 61% of the bets on the over, 54% of the money on the under. I'd lean under with you guys. I'm just not going to move on this game. I just didn't feel too good about Keller in his last appearance at the Padres. He basically has one appearance against the Padres in the each year. Last one, 5 innings, 8 earned runs. I expect him to pitch better. That was at San Diego as well. He goes win-loss, win-loss, win-loss against the Padres. So if you would expect that to happen, his next one will be a win. And Cease has not pitched against the Padres either. He pitched last year against them, but it was only 1 inning, 1 hit, and I assume he got hurt. So nothing here for me ultimately. So I ended up passing.
All right, I'd like to get. I'm going to get involved here with the. I'm going to see the how expensive it's going to be for the first 5+1/2. I got to look at a couple different books here because 365 won't give me the best one, and then that first 300 2.5 is also appealing to me. But I also don't feel like it is that necessary to take the first 300 2.5 rather than the full game under. Jose, can you give us a quick idea on the state of the bullpens?
Sure. Bullpens, according to Roto. RotoWire only has Adam Estrada, Morejon, and Suarez listed in the Padres bullpen. That basically means they have not used anyone else in like the last 5 days, I believe. And all of those guys went back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday. They had the day off yesterday. I expect all of them to be fine to go today. But again, there's only 4 guys listed. There's obviously more relievers in the Padres bullpen, so don't be surprised if you see them, but I still generally trust them. It seems like their strategy is one of the 3 games our starter has to go a decent way, and we have to survive that game without using these guys, and then they can go back-to-back, and we can win a series that way. So I think they're hoping for some Cease length here. As for the Pirates, Hunter Stratton, Kyle Nichols, and Joey Wentz all through yesterday. Bednar threw 11 on back-to-back days, day off yesterday. Shugard 20 on Wednesday. He'll be available. Holderman available. Barucki available. And Caleb Ferguson all will be available as well.
Well, I'm going to be investing in this baseball game. I do not want 3 units on it. Can't have 3 units on it. So I've got to cut those 3. First 300 2.5, full game under 7.5 or 8, and the Pirates first 5+1/2. I have to cut 1. And Troy has moved on the Pirates first 5 under 4 +105, and the Pirates first 5 +125. Let's roll on. Next up for us, Troy will be getting this one started 6:45 p.m. Eastern with the Arizona Diamondbacks 17-14, 9-6 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies 17-14 as well, but 11-5 at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Take a look at the weather there in this beautiful ballpark. 85 Fahrenheit, feels like 82. 9.2 miles per hour out to right field. Dies down to 6.3 miles per hour. We have Merle Kelly going up against Jesus Luzardo. Robert Franklin here on the Phillies money line. Let's get this line history up and set this all up. Sorry, let's go back to full game. And is this really happening right now? Okay. I'm going to come on. Okay. Yes, there we go. Okay, here we go. We have the Diamondbacks, Phillies. The Philadelphia Phillies on the money line, full game right now are -144. They opened up at -154. So we've had to move towards the Diamondbacks. On a total here, we have a 9.5, and it's juiced pretty heavy to the under. Now, it just moved to 9 20 minutes ago, and then move back up to 9.5. So it's a similar situation we deal with all the time. You can have the over 9 juiced or the under 9.5 juiced. It's up to you. Again, Jose will go over the cash flow. Merle Kelly, 3-1 with a 4.41 ERA, 1.10 whip, 25 Ks, 12 walks, not his usual K to walk ratio, and he's allowed 5 home runs. Coming off an 8-7 loss at home versus the Braves. It wasn't on him. He had a quality start. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. There were solo shots, 4 Ks, and 1 walk. So I have been hesitant to use home and road splits. I don't feel like we have enough of a sample size. But Merle Kelly's been destroyed on the road so far this year, and he's been very good at home. I don't know how much to put into that. On the road, he's 1-1 with a 6.46 ERA. Opponents are hitting .233 against him, but they're hitting with power and barreling him. Lefties hit just 192, but with a 623 OPS. Righties hit 204 with a 693 OPS. You know Merrill Kelly. I mean, he's never had a problem with splits. We have Luzardo on the other side, who looks very good. 3-0, 1.73 ERA, 1.07 whip. Spooner talked about the psychology around why he's pitching at an elite level right now, and he's finally on a team that's that pushes him and makes him want to be elite. A winning team. The Diamondbacks don't hit lefties. They rake righties, but they don't hit lefties. 232, 646 OPS. And Phillies aren't hitting righties that hard. 245, 717 OPS. And both bullpens look vulnerable. Troy Torrance, Diamondbacks, Phillies, take it away.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I mean, are we expecting this Phillies bullpen to have some favorable regression themselves? I mean, they continue to blow games. Just seems like far too often. Remember one time I had the Phillies in the cash cow spot, and they were up 12-4 going into the 9th inning, and they ended up winning 12-11. That broke my freaking heart. It was one of the first cash cows of the year. But Luzardo, this guy has been locked down. I think that's a great way to frame it. I mean, he's on a team where he wants to win. The team is very competitive, so I think he's elevated. He's elevated with that status. And Merrill Kelly, he's also a pitcher that I believe in. He's another pitcher, just like we talked about. We just talked about Mitch Keller, who was in the same situation. In Merrill Kelly's second start, he faced the Yankees and got blown up. But that xERA and some of his expected numbers are coming down every single start he's had since then. If the Phillies weren't on a loss, to be honest, I would be on the D-backs in this situation. I'm not so the fact that the Diamondbacks are coming off a win, going road to road situation doesn't concern me. Looking at their history in that type of spot, I want to be on the D-backs, but it feels like the market's a little bit undecided. We got more than just U-shaped movement in this game. We got W-shaped movement, so it's just bouncing back and forth. Pretty much every book in the game, the one I use to track for a database, has it exactly where it opened. I'm waiting for market confirmation. We want to see this market move towards the Phillies or towards the Diamondbacks in this price range. So I'm going to be waiting for market confirmation, and I'm going to be on the Diamondbacks, but I cannot move yet.
Going to be on the Diamondbacks. AM is on the over 9 here. Wager Detective looking at the over. Oh, no, 9-0. Sorry, giving us stats there. We also have Ricky Bobby on Trey Turner over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And our guy, Justin McKelvey, the stacks play of the day. Number 1 is Bryce Harper over 1.5 bases at plus 105. Stacks on the board.
Stacks.
Ronnie Lofton says flies over in his opinion. Again, this is his baseball team, the Diamondbacks. So the guys who follow their teams at that level should always be listened to very closely. Take it away for us, Jose. Diamondbacks, Phillies.
Yeah, I'm with Troy here. I lean Diamondbacks. I'm probably about to move on it myself. Wager Detective, Wager Talks numbers here. They has, as I have to look for it again, 69% of the bets, 94% of the money on the Philadelphia Phillies here. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm seeing openers of minus 150, and we've moved maybe a few cents, not much at all, if anything. With all that money, makes me feel like the Diamondbacks are live here. 67% of the bet, 65% of the money on the under. And again, here I'm seeing 8.5, 9 openers here, and I'm seeing 9.5s at our friends at Heritage there. So again, I lean Diamondbacks here, and I'm going to move on them most likely. I don't trust the Phillies bullpen. The one key factor for me here is how bad the Diamondbacks have been against lefties. But let's talk about the bullpens first. Kirkring, 6 pitches, probably available. Joe Ross and Carlos Hernandez, only guys I don't think will not be available. Tanner Banks, 27 pitches on Wednesday. Maybe he won't be available here, but Matty Strahm, Jordan Romano, Jose Alvarado, and Kirkring will all be available for the Phillies there. Those are the big arms for them. The Diamondbacks on the other side here, whose bullpen, by the way, overall in the league, and of looking at bullpen, just ERA here, 22nd, a 4.4 ERA, but a 3.18 FIP and a 3.16 expected FIP. So I expect both their bullpen to get better here. Some positive regression for them. They have, as I have to find it again, a kind of a worn out bullpen with Kevin Ginkel and Ryan Thompson going back-to-back days. So did Shelby Miller here, but he kind of stinks. That leaves Ryan Nelson 2 days off through 68 pitches on Tuesday. Jalen Beeks as well. And again, these are all the relievers, but I'm sure they have a few others that RotoWire is not listing that have just none of them not thrown in a while. So I lean Diamondbacks here. Like I said, I'm going to move on them most likely right now. Just to double check the prices. By the way, against lefties, my main concern. Full season 82 weighted runs created plus, 18th best in baseball. And for the last 15 days here, where are they? 19th, 76 weighted runs created plus, 111 plate appearances against lefties in that time. So, yeah, I lean under if I'm being honest, and I lean Diamondbacks. So I will probably end up moving on the Diamondbacks and not go against whoever said over. I'm sorry for getting your name already, but I lean Diamondbacks for sure.
Yeah, I'm interested in the Diamondbacks. I think the idea would be moving on the over based on the marketplace at this point. But I don't know if I'm going to go there. Wine Time, take it away. Diamondbacks, Phillies.
Yeah, I'm attacking this game. I already gave out one play last night on Twitter. I got the Diamondbacks money line plus 135. Went to about a plus 125 right before I went to bed around midnight my time over here on the West Coast. Woke up this morning. It's back up to a plus 135. I have a couple of my books right now. So line did move a little bit back towards the Phillies, but it's back to where it pretty much opened up at, what I got at last night. Man, both these pitchers right here, I think Luzardo, don't get me wrong, he's been pitching really well this year, but I think there's some room here that he might slip up and get hit pretty hard today by these Diamondbacks. I mean, it's crazy. Ketel Marte, the best player, goes out the first week of the season. This team's still rolling 3 games over 500 right now. This is a team I wanted to back going back to the beginning of the season, a team that I respected. I like their batting order. Even without Marte, guys just get it done. They've got guys like Corbin Carroll. I think Suarez is probably going to hit a bomb today. It seems like every single time I bet the Diamondbacks, he hits a home run. And especially in a high total like this, what we're seeing right now, I mean, someone touched on the chat. I think he read off the odds logic numbers, and it was pretty much that most of the bets and money were on the under here. But yeah, it's at a 9.5 right now. So I'm going to stay away from the actual whole game total. I'm just going to move on the Diamondbacks team total over 4.5 plus 105, guys. We're getting 2+ monies here on the Diamondbacks, one on the money line at plus 135 and one on their over team total. I think they can easily score 5 runs here in this spot. Like I said, I think Suarez is going to hit a bomb. I'm most likely going to sprinkle on that because I swear it's like 90% of games I take the Diamondbacks, he hits a home run, especially in a high total like this. I already touched on that. And I think Merrill Kelly could get maybe a touched up a little bit here too. I wouldn't be surprised to see the guy over 9.5 right now. I saw someone put in the chat blown save like plus 375. Who knows with this Phillies bullpen, man? It's suspect out there. I don't trust it. And I trust this batting order from the Diamondbacks. They need to keep winning games here. They're in the hardest division in baseball, it seems like right now. Definitely the toughest. I'm on the Diamondbacks in 2 different ways. I'm on them on the money line. I think they get it done here, and I'm on them team total over 4.5. I haven't moved on it yet, but I'm going to put it in right now. I'm going to tweet it out. Over 4.5 plus 105.
Over 4.5 plus 105 with the Diamondbacks. I think the over is sharp. I would much prefer to have the 9 and pay a little bit for it, but I've been saying over and over again, well, not for a lot long, for a week, that I would like to be on overs in Philadelphia. The bullpen looks terrible. I trust the offense, and now here we have 2 good offenses and 2 bad bullpens. Should that mean that you should probably just wait and then live bet it? Possibly. But I like both looks, the Diamondbacks and the over 9.5. And we also have, and again, like, I don't mean to push this importance, but when Ron Lofton talks about the Diamondbacks, we must listen. And he thinks it's going to soar over, and you wouldn't think so. We talked about the AM, talking about the reverse line movement. I'm interested. Very interested.
I think the bookies are telling us something with this total.
Yeah.
To be honest, even though it doesn't, I feel like I don't have enough to plug this in the database and really get a look and a feel for it based on the market right now. 9.5, 9 with these 2 pitchers. Jeez.
Yeah. This might be a triple up spot for your boy here. I'll end up tweeting this out later if I do make the 3rd move. I'm making the first 2 moves right now, but I'll be on this over full game. I can almost guarantee it before first pitch today. Just going to see what happens here with the market and see where this line goes. Right now I can get them in the full game. For me right now, I can get 9.5 at plus 100. I should probably move on here right now. We'll see though. I'm gonna hold off on that one, but I like where you guys are going on this full game total as well.
Especially after yesterday, man. It was 9.5, 9 yesterday. Same weather conditions, 10 miles an hour blowing out, and it went under, right? I mean, Nationals came back 4-2, I think.
Yeah, it was 4-2 final score.
And now they come back with the same number.
Yeah, and AM was on that under yesterday, and he's on the over today. His Big Zo's on the first 3 over 2.5. Johnny Gunn says, if you think Luzardo regresses, why not the first 5 team total over? I think that you just want the bullpen involved regardless, personally, but I get that. And then Coin liking that look that Wine Time's on with that team total over. Let's roll on. Next up for us, 7:05 p.m. Eastern with the Kansas City Royals, 17-15, 6-10 on the road at the Baltimore Orioles, 12-18, 7-7 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Robert Cherry moving on the Phillies in that one as well. Let's talk about the weather here in Baltimore. It is 83 Fahrenheit. There's a possible rain early, but then it goes away. But there's some precipitation possibly early. 5.4, then dies down to 2.7, blowing out. So the weather and the wind is not a big deal or issue here. We have Waka Flocka, Michael Waka, 1-3, 3.38 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. He's a pitcher I trust, who seems to get better around this time of year. And then when there's questions about him, it's usually arm fatigue and July, August kind of a thing for this vet. His last start, 2-0 win at home versus the Astros, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks in that 2-0 win at home. His splits are really nice. He's getting lefties out. They're hitting 263, 695 OPS. He's getting righties out, 203, 538 OPS. Now we're going to talk about Dean Kramer, who I've got a bias about because I've watched him look lights out on multiple occasions, and it seems to only happen here at Oriole Park. But statistically, he looks bad. Lefties are hitting 326 with a 933 OPS. Righties are hitting 279, 835 OPS. Truth teller on the Orioles, and I am interested in that as well. Just my 2 cents. Huge UFC Des Moines, fresh off the crew, sweeping the board last week. He's going to be on the Braves plus 150, but watch the squad on our live stream tomorrow evening. And shout out to our 2 cents. We have Mr. Belvedere on the Orioles -1. I'm a believer in Kramer in this type of situation against a weak offensive team like the Royals. The Royals are really easy to pitch around. Witt is the issue, and then Perez can do some damage. But Pasquantino, these guys, I just don't fear them. And Kramer should be able to handle these guys. Royals are hitting 236, 642 OPS versus righties. The Royals, 236, 642. Orioles, 247, 764 OPS. And we know that the Royals have a big bullpen advantage. But, weak offenses can make weak bullpens look decent. So line history wise, we have the Orioles at -139. They opened up at -131. So they've had 8 cents of movement towards them. There was no move towards them at all until an hour and 26 minutes ago. So that's a long time for this to sit around with no move. But you can explain why. I mean, look at the difference in starting pitchers statistically. When we have our total here is a similar total to the one we just spoke of, where the over 9 is heavily juiced, or you could get an under 9.5 heavily juiced, depending on how you want to attack it. Jose Bouquet, Royals, Orioles, take it away.
Yeah, we'll start with the market again here. We've got 52% of the bets, 54% of the money on the under in this game. I'm seeing openers at 9 and 9.5, and it's seemingly 9 across the board now here as well. For the money line, 58% of the bets, 70% of the money on the Baltimore Orioles here. I'm interested to see what that bases clearing or benches clearing kerfluffle does for the the Orioles yesterday as well. I don't know. Maybe it'll galvanize a young team that they've been playing like shit. I think they know they've been playing like shit, especially the pitching. I think the offense might have a little bump here, but I couldn't get there personally. The market not really moving in any direction that is kind of telling its hand for me personally. I'd probably end up, if I had to gun to head position, probably bet the Royals, but nothing here for me again. Sorry.
No problem, man. You don't need to force it. Wine time, Royals, Orioles.
Yeah, I love this game right here. Yeah, hopefully that sparks something for that Orioles ball club, man. It was pretty funny, though, if you guys watched that John Boy Media video of that and seeing all those bullpen guys just running out of the bullpen one at a time. That was pretty fucking funny. But, with that being said, I think the Orioles, this team right now is off to a really slow start. I didn't think this was probably one of the better teams in their division this year, but They still have a good team here. I think this is around a 500 team by the end of the season. Dean Kramer, a guy that I've backed before this year, that I've been successful backing. Kansas City Royals coming off a really good sweep on the road against Tampa Bay Rays here. This line opened up at -130. I jumped on it on the Orioles right away. I love seeing it at a -146 right now at a lot of spots. I think this line is going to continue to go up towards the Orioles. I think this is a good game for them to kind of get back on track. They take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, I believe, right? They did take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. I think this team's heading in the right direction, honestly. I think they can go out and get a win here. I was really close to moving on this team total as well at 4.5. It's just a little bit too juicy for me at -125 right now. And seeing that this line's kind of going back and forth between 9.5 kind of has me worried on that team total. So I'm going to end up staying away from this one. And I'm going to expect Dean Kramer to go out there and give me at least a quality start here. And for the Orioles bats to somewhat give me some runs here, give me 4 or 5 runs here. And I like that the line's moving in my direction this game. I love the Orioles here in this spot. So yeah, I'm on the Orioles here. I got -130 right now as we're looking at it. I can see -142. It wasn't -146 a little bit ago, but -142 right now. Still like the line. If you can get a -1, probably do that. I would not move on the -1.5, but I love the Orioles here today in this spot. I think this is a good spot for them here, being 12-18, going against a 7-15 team. Open up as a favorite against Michael Wacha. You know, that's been decent throughout his career, and we're seeing the line heavily move towards the Orioles right now. I like the Orioles here in this spot.
It makes sense to me. You're getting a lot of backers in the chat. Troy Torrance, Royals, Orioles.
I'm with you. It's just tough for me to get behind Kramer. I mean, I've lost so many games with this damn guy, but it's usually not in this type of market. We know the Orioles have been saying it in chat for a long time. They're due to come up. The database does have mixed results in this market. Once you start layering it down at top level, layer 1 with the biggest sample, it's very favorable for the Orioles. But then you start adding some of the variables, and it just goes back and forth. But what I do like to see is all this action and all this money and the sharp action on the road team and the line moving towards the O's, because that's been a beautiful, beautiful spot. And if you filter the sample, layer 1, the biggest sample of this type of market down to Royals on the road, 2-9 straight up in the past 3 seasons. They're 0-2 this season, losing by 2 and 4 runs to the Tigers. And the Orioles are 5-3 in this market. So really tough game. I'm probably going to be on the O's with you boys. I just don't know exactly how I'm going to get on it yet. I do believe that the O's are going to take this one.
Historically, Kramer's been a little worse at home than he's been on the road. But this year is very strange for him. He's had 6 starts, and 5 of them have been on the road. He's also already faced this Orioles squad, at Kansas City, but it was over a month ago. It was a month ago. And, and he got touched a little bit, 4 1/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. And 1 home start all season long. In that home start, he shoved against the Guardians. So I think that he can be backed here. I get why you guys are on him. Now, Troy, do you have any concern with what Ron Crawford's saying? The Royals have won 9 of 10 baseball games right now. Is this the time we want to, sort of try to catch a falling knife, fading them?
I think this would be the perfect time to do it, because the Orioles are on the opposite side of that spectrum where they're 100% due to come up. I feel like they're pushing on the gate. Even when they've been, when you see them putting up like 3 or less runs, those games, they have runners on base. They're creating their WRC plus in those games is solid, is top 10, but they just can't get the gate down. They're banging on it. And I think the Royals, we know they're not great on the road. They've been terrible on the road in this price range, line moving away from them. I think this is a perfect time to do it, but it's just, I don't know. I guess Kramer's just getting in the way. I don't care about Wacha. I think Wacha can be gotten in this environment. I don't know why, man. It's my recency bias, and that makes me want to bet the Orioles even more.
I'm interested. I'm very interested in joining you fellas. I would have to take the -1 line, of course, but that's fine. All right, let's roll on. We had Jose opening that one. This one is Wine Time Sports. And it is the Tampa Bay Rays. By the way, Robert Cherry dropping his balls to the wall parlay of the day for UFC. Juliana Miller by submission at plus 430. Sandhagen by decision at plus 130. Misha Tate by submission plus 350. Quang Lee money line plus 125. And Bokov money line minus 125 for Robert Cherry. Here we go. Rays, Yankees. We're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Studying Ryan Pepio's numbers thus far this year, all I can think of is, maybe we were wrong. 8 home runs allowed in 34 innings. He doesn't have a split issue. Everybody's hitting him.
What's his fly ball rate? Do you have? I might pull that up. I doubt you have that because
I don't
it
have
looks
it here
like
in my
even when
notes.
he's getting outs, they're deep fly balls or line outs to.
He's looked shaky even in his decent starts. Honestly, maybe my expectations of him were too high. I don't have the fly ball rate in my notes, but I can grab it. Let me know if it's needed. Possible light rain to start this game off. 78 Fahrenheit, feels like 75. 9.8 miles per hour to left center, and then it dies down to 7.2 miles per hour. So as I said, the lefties are hitting him 228-12, but righties are raking against him. 297 with a 900 OPS against the righties, and of course, Aaron Judge is a righty. You look at this lineup, and is there anybody else you're worried about? I mean, Judge, Bellinger, Goldschmidt's not, that's good 2 through 4. Hoflation says Fierceness versus Locked showdown in 11 minutes. What say you? Hoflation, I wish I could be a part of it and have capped it and all that. I'm a Fierceness backer though, but I wish I could have done it. But it is what it is. Pepio's last start, though, was very good. It was at the Padres. It was a 4-1 victory, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. Going up against Max Fried, the Yankees are 6-0 in Max Fried starts. He's not allowed an earned run over his last 2 starts, and his splits are real nice because righties aren't hitting him. Lefties are getting to him with a tiny bit of power, but 189 average, 658 OPS. His last start, 11-2 win at home versus the Jays, was a thing of beauty. Fried looks great. 1.19 ERA, 1.04 whip. Mally Mal says Fried getting the families fed. Rays are not hitting lefties at all. 197, 574 OPS, and the Yankees are raking righties as always. 264, 813 OPS. Both bullpens are very, very good. We have Wine Time starting this one out. Jose will give us the cash flow here when he rolls up, but the total we're dealing with is that 8.5. So we've had 9 cents of movement to the under. And then on the money line, we have the New York Yankees at minus 233. There's been a big move towards them, but it has come back. There's not much, but it did get up to minus 241 at a minute before we started the show. So here we go. Take it away. Wine Time, Rays, Yankees.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back to a game really quick, Jim, because, man, there's some just line movement coming in this Nationals game right now. And Nationals are almost at a plus 170 right now, plus 167. Wow. I should have moved on it before, guys. I'm going to do it now. Sorry, I'm a little late, but I'm going to move on the Cincinnati Reds -1 plus 105. Could have got plus 110 an hour ago when we talked about this. I think this is going to continue to go down. I think this might be a minus 190 closer to game time for the Reds. This just seemed – this screamed that the Reds smash here. And it's hard to say that because of how inconsistent the Reds have been. I already touched on it, but I'm moving on the Reds -1.5 plus 105. Also going into this game now, man, yeah, the Rays coming off the sweep, getting swept, at home by the Royals, team that we just talked about. It's crazy. I mean, Kevin Cash does not get swept at home. Give or take, it's not at Tropicana, but going into this game right here, another divisional game for the New York Yankees. Max Fried, going into this game, pitching well. Pepio, you mentioned it, man. He's been getting touched up a little bit this year. When I moved on this play yesterday, it's a first leg of a parlay for me, guys. I moved on the Yankees money line, first leg of a parlay. Got minus 210 last night. It's up to a 240 right now. 30 cents line movement, give or take. I mean, it is because it's a higher favorite. So that's not like a destroyed line movement by any means, but I still like the Yankees here on the money line to parlay with whatever else you guys like here on this card with another high favorite. We're going to talk about a game later that I parlayed it with. It's going to be the last game on the card, but and my guy Troy, I'm not going to ruin anything that my guy Troy's about to say, but I know he's going to be on this spot right here too. It makes me feel a lot better. Yankees here most likely should smash. We're seeing this line movement towards them heavily here. It's a divisional game. The Yankees are damn near minus 240, damn near minus 250 right here. Maybe give or take because Max Fried's 5-0 this season, but I think the Yankees take care of business today. It's the first leg of a parlay. Yankees money line, and we'll talk about another game later.
I like it. So Yankees, the beginning of a parlay here. Robert Cherry on the Yankees -1.5, the over 8.5, and Freed over 5.5 Ks. Daniel Hernandez on the other side. He's backing the Rays. Truth Teller says if he was going to move on this, he would move on the Rays, but he doesn't look like he's going to in this spot. Mally Mal says perfect weather here for a Yankees ass whooping. Troy Torrance, I believe we are in your wheelhouse here. Take it away.
Yeah, I really don't need any of the other information, to be honest. I did obviously fully handicap this game, but all I needed to see was this market to move on it big. I'm reluctant to give this out, just because of how I've already given it out, but I haven't posted anything specific with this market in a long time. It's insane because it's contrary to, I would never have bet a situation like this prior to, building out the database. But when you have a line between -300 and -225, okay, now the cash cow range does go from -200 up to 300. But at the same time, you got to narrow it down. I want a good middle point. I want a good sample. Line between 300 and 225, moving towards the home team with a total greater than 7.5, implying, more volatility in the game. The home team, 98 and 26 straight up. That's 79%. 81 and 43 on the run line. That's 65%. But what makes the cash cow so great and so counterintuitive from how I used to be is when you add in the cash flow, when you have 80% more or more of the bets and the cash on the home team as well. Now you're looking at 52 and 7, 88% straight up, and 42 and 17 on the run line. That's 71%. When numbers are that good, you really don't need 5 layers of analysis. But Yankees at home -150 or bigger, line moving towards that, 26 and 10 straight up, 72%, and 23 and 13 on the run line. Rays versus left-handed pitching are 74 with WRC plus. We know Freed is a dog. Freed absolutely locked them up. His numbers versus this team, 0.77 opponent batting average against the Rays, this lineup, and a 0.240 OPS. There's never been an extra base hit that any of these Rays players have had on this guy. And, I just think it's a great spot. I have 3 units on the run line right now, -1.5 at -110. I bet the double results for 1 unit +115. I parlayed it with the Astros money line, fading the White Sox off a win. That'll give me my 3rd unit. That's my 3rd bet on this game. I'm going to join Wine Time with his parlay on the Giants. So whatever price he got on that one, Jim, you can give me that one. And now I'm starting to think about how I'm going to get my 5th unit down on this bet on this game, and I'm thinking about the O's. But I want to kind of let this play out. I'll get back to you on that last one.
Johnny Gunn's wondering if you have numbers on this -2.5. So he'd be curious to know how often there is a large margin win. We do have the cash cow here for our Troy Torrance. Do you have any interest, or do you ever have any interest in 2.5s in this situation?
I do. I just haven't really thought about it lately, but let's actually pull that now. So in this, we need this to be,
it's a +145, +150. My
-3 or more. So 35 out of the 40 run line covers. Wow. Almost every time they cover 2.5, brother.
Because I would find it more appealing the -2 personally, but just to keep, if the run line does cash, at least you're not gonna, lose money. But very interesting. 35 of the 40.
35 of the, yeah. So actually 35 of the 50 wins.
Okay.
So 35 of 57 games, 61%.
Interesting. Good question. Good question, Johnny. Let's hear from Jose Bouquet here. Rays, Yankees, Jose.
Yeah, I will just give you guys the market. You guys broke this game down great. I'll just join you guys. I'll do the Winnipeg Jets, New York Yankees parlay +176 for me. Yankees, 70% of the bets on the Yankees, 55% of the money on the Rays here, which is semi-interesting. Line has still exploded their direction. And 58% of the bets on the under, but 84% of the money on the over in this game. So very interesting, but I'm in on a parlay. Not much for me, though.
So that's odds logic, right? When you're giving cash flow?
Yeah, or that's wager talk. Sorry.
That's one of the reasons why I haven't started to look at anything else yet, because I have fucking 4,000 games of Action Network's cash flow. It's like, do I want to change now for the total? Maybe for the total I would consider it, but definitely not for the side, because I could still see that there's way more variation in the cash flow on the money line than the total. So
a very, very, very interesting stuff here. Let's roll on. We have Troy starting us out with our next game, 7:07 p.m. Eastern. The Cleveland Guardians 18-13, 7-8 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 15-16, 10-6 at home at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. Still cold up here, but it's starting to warm up a tiny bit. We're all interested. When will be the first game with the roof open? It won't be tonight. Roof will be closed. We have Logan Allen going up against Chris Bassett. I wonder if the fairy tale run for Bassett to start the year has concluded. We have Logan Allen, the lefty, going up against Bassett. Logan Allen, 1-2, 4.21 ERA, 1.56 WHIP. K to walk ratio, always an issue with Logan Allen. 18 Ks, 13 walks. And he has been getting annihilated by lefties. A very small sample size, so maybe it's not worth talking about here. But last start, 4 1/3, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, 3 walks, and a 13-3 loss at home versus the Red Sox. Righties are getting to him a little, for a lefty, 231, 636 OPS, but lefties 474 with a 1.155 WHIP. Bassett allowed 4 earned runs in back-to-back starts, back-to-back 5-1 losses for the Jays, and he's looked dynamic this year. 2.62 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, 39 strikeouts over 34 and a third, 7 walks and 2 home runs. Lefties rating 254 with a 684 OPS against them, while righties rating 239, 586. There's never been a situation where there's a split that's a problem for him. Kelly McKinnon says plus 25 in Calgary. Wow. Nice. I like Calgary. I like the city. Guardians versus righties, 236, 693 OPS. Jays versus lefties, 258, 757 OPS. And both bullpens are pitching well. The Jays bullpen's pitching probably a little better than we expected, and the Guardians bullpen's pitching a little worse than we expected. The Guardian 3.80 bullpen with a 1.39 WHIP, while the Jays 3.82 with a 1.19 WHIP. Take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the Blue Jays right now at minus 152. It's a pretty big line, and it's gotten bigger. They opened up minus 139. There really was no move towards them until 10 minutes after the show started. This line came out at 9:28 p.m. yesterday, so it took a while for there to be a move towards the Jays, and there is now. Then we have a total at 8.5. That's minus 102 to the over. It opened up minus 106 to the over. I just think that the magical fairy dust might be wearing off for Bassett. But I know the last start at the Yankee Stadium, I believe the last 2 starts were on the road, and he's coming back home. Let me just very, very quickly verify that is the case, because I think that is the case here. So let me just quickly, because then you could have some reasonable explanation. It was he's barely thrown at home this year, and he said that those are tough road games. You play at Houston and at the Yankees. He's had 2 starts this year. He's allowed 1 earned run over 11 innings. So maybe we can look beyond the kind of tough stretch for Bassett. Take it away for us here, Troy Torrance, Guardians, Blue Jays.
Yeah, you're right. Bassett, he's definitely got that fucking magical unicorn fairy dust bullshit. I don't know how he does it. I watch him, and I think he's going to give it up every game, even when I'm not betting on him. I got the Blue Jays. I have this weird relationship with the Blue Jays where I feel like I hate them, then I love them. I won with them last night. I was motherfucking Vladdy when he swung and missed on the first 2 pitches, and then he worked a excellent at bat to a 3-2 count and hit a freaking bomb. I have a mixed relationship with this Blue Jays team. And I really wasn't going to bet this game because I see Bassett on the mound and I see Logan Allen, who I have not been able to watch this year. Now I did talk some shit about the Blue Jays in the past about, being up against lefties. They have some good WRC plus, some really good numbers. You start looking at all of it, but they haven't really generated the offense. So you could say, well, they just can't close the deal, or, they're due to start putting those runs across the plate. And I do think that that's what they're saying with this line movement. in this game. And the bigger the line move in this type of market, the better it is for the home team. It's a really tough game. I would say Blue Jays are pass for me, but I'm not going to be betting it.
Yeah, I think I mean, pitching at Houston and at Yankee at Daikin and at Yankee Stadium is this has got to be a much easier situation. And as the Jays are raking lefties, they're worst in the league against righties. But this is a lefty on the hill. So maybe we should focus on first five, because when the bullpen comes in for the Guardians, they're very likely to shut the Jays down.
That might be the ticket right there, man. First five. And I also know that, we have the Guardians coming off a 3 out of 4 against the Twins, divisional rivalry, traveling, got to go through customs, got to go into Canada. And then if you look at the Blue Jays, go look at their history, go to their game logs. Look what happens when they have a home-to-home where they won a series that they have. It doesn't matter whether they won or lost. When they have a home game and then they change series and it's another home game. I mean, I think they have one loss the past 2 years.
Wow, interesting. I'm very interested in the Jays first 5 minus a half. I've kind of come full circle through breaking this down that maybe the fairy dust is not finished with Bassett. Maybe there was just 2 very difficult starts and he was okay in them. It wasn't great, but he was okay. Let's hear what Jose Bouquet has to say about Guardians Blue Jays. Take it away.
Yeah, so the Guardians bullpen is pretty exhausted today. I'll tell you that for the good news here. Hunter Gaddis back-to-back days. Doubt he goes. Clase went back-to-back days, Tuesday, Wednesday, day off Thursday. I'd be a little surprised if he went, especially because of how bad he's been. Cade Smith, same thing. Tim Herron, 25 pitches yesterday. Joey Cantillo, 24 pitches yesterday. Jakob Yunis, 19. Colby Allard, 14. So it was pretty used up bullpen yesterday. The blind movement to the Toronto Blue Jays has been pretty brisk, and there has been 58% of the bets, 92% of the money on the Toronto Blue Jays here, 64% of the bets, 74% of the money on the over in this game.
Wait, Jose, can you repeat the cash flow on the side you have?
58% of the bets, 92% of the money on the Blue Jays here.
Check what that was three hours ago.
I will see if I can right now. But point of all this being that I indeed do like the Toronto Blue Jays here. Now, let me double check if I can see this. What time you want? 3 hours ago?
Yeah, let's go like 8 o'clock.
All right. It's 9 a.m. I'm assuming this is I'm going to go assuming this is Eastern time, actually, because this is all fucked up. 92% of the money on the Toronto Blue Jays here at 9 a.m. here. At 8 a.m., 8:30 was 90. It's been seemingly around that all day. At 7 a.m., it was 86, and then at 8:05, it jumped up to 94%.
Yeah,
why is the line not moving? Maybe it was set appropriately.
Right.
As the Jays were a bigger favorite than one would imagine.
What did you have this opening up at, Jimmy? I see minus 135.
Yeah.
I have this one. Oh, that's yeah. I mean, I know it opened up minus 133 in the afternoon. When it came out at night here, it opened up minus 139. So maybe that's enough movement.
Yeah, I'm seeing Penny at 139 as well. Yeah, so.
My man Ricky, just quickly, Ricky Levine in the house. Great to see you, Ricky, my man. And yes, I was very saddened. I wanted to use Grande, so I was very upset when I heard that, my man. But great to see you. Sorry, Jose.
Yeah, I just don't know what I'm going to bet. It seems like I'm going to have to drink, not eat the juice here and make my most juiced bet of the year so far. Blue Jays money line minus 154. Don't feel great about it. The bullpen for the Blue Jays, by the way, let me tell you right now, only use Mason Flaherty and Yimi Garcia back-to-back days. So only guy I expect him to be down is him. Jeff Hoffman, 27 pitches on Wednesday. I'd be a little surprised if he's available here today as well. So that's a little worrisome. But Chad Green, 12 pitches. I think he can lock down a 9th inning. By the way, Blue Jays bullpen much better than it was last year with shitty-ass Jordan Romano back there. But Blue Jays minus 154 for me.
I was, wanting to talk to you about that. And I think I'll pick my spots and when to. But I really believe, and I'm going over my numbers now. I really believe you should go back to the -1s and -1.5s with your ability to only take only a few, only the ones that you're the most confident on. And I know that you track yourself, but my -1s are the best thing I've done this year, other than the first 3 under 2.5s. But if I only bet first 3 under 2.5s and -1s, like I'll send you my record on -1s right now and -1.5s, because I don't want to bet them either. I think if you go in not wanting to bet them and only bet the ones that you feel like you're pushed towards, I don't think you should cut them out of your action completely. AM on the under 8.5 here. And the Sweaty Butcher sharing great news. His eldest son, Louis, was a unanimous vote on the 12 and under All-Star team. Said the kid absolutely dominated the season with on-base percentage of .909, only 2 strikeouts all year. And shout out to Louis and shout out to the Sweaty Butcher family. That's great news, man. He's such a great kid. You have such a great family. We're all very thankful that we got to hang out with the Sweaty Butcher fam at Santa Anita. So congratulations, Mr. Butcher, and I'm sure you're a big part of that. So great news. Wine time. Let's close the door here on the Guardians and Blue Jays.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Sweaty Butcher, man. Got to meet Louis. We went down to Santa Anita at the racetrack. Good kid, man. I know his favorite athletes, or favorite football players, Tyreek Hill. I remember he told me that, even though he's not on his football team. But with that being said, shout out to you, man. That's dope. My favorite thing about Little League growing up was when make the All-Star team, they throw that sign on your door. You wake up the next morning, you see that shit. And it's like you go to school telling everyone you're an All-Star, man. It's a blessing. So I'd love to hear that, my guy. With this game, Jim, this is the kind of shit, man, that makes me want to throw my laptop at the wall. Because last night when I looked at this, I could have got a -140. It's a -155 right now. I'm not even going to move on the -1. I'm going to parlay the Blue Jays with the New York Yankees, and I'm going to get +135 for my money right now. I think the Blue Jays take care of business today, and I definitely think the Yankees are going to win this game. So I'm going to add this to my action right now. It's going to be Yankees. This wasn't the parlay that I originally given out. It's going to be a new one. I'm going to still give out the other one. So we're going to have 2 units on the Yankees today. Yankees money line at -240. Blue Jays money line at -152. You can get about a +135 right now. So I'm going to give that out. I'm going to place it right now. And we're going to get to the money in this game.
I like it. I like all that. That was a great breakdown, fellas. This has worked out perfectly because Jose is opening up our next game, and it is his Boston Red Sox.
Wait, Jimmy, I'm moving on this last one. I did bet the Blue Jays first 5 -0.5 run for -115 at Bovada. And now, wine time, after saying that, it makes me want to bet it again. I might have to add some plays here. Yeah.
I'm going to join you guys. I think that those last 2 starts may help us. It's so funny how you can come in with an idea of something, and then once you talk it all out and listen to others and take a much deeper look, you can change that idea. And why would I shit on Bassett for having his 2 toughest starts of the year in Houston and in Yankee Stadium back to back, and now he's coming home where he's allowed 1 earned run in 11 innings? I like it. So great stuff, fellas. Let's roll on to Twinkies Red Sox. We have Mr. Belvedere on the Twins -107. We're in Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. 2 pitchers that Jose knows very, very well. Joe Ryan, and we won't use the nickname that Jose has for Brian Bello. We'll never use that name about another man ever again. And it is the initials of Brian Bello as well, if you're wondering what the nickname is, and we're never going to speak of it. Let's get into the weather here for this one. We have 75 Fahrenheit, feels like 73, 8 miles per hour to left center, right on its way to the Green Monster. Dies down to 7.2. It's a beautiful night for baseball in Boston. We have the money line for the Red Sox at a pretty peculiar -103. This opened up at -110. It didn't open up here at this book until a little after midnight. So we've had to move towards Joe Ryan and the Minnesota Twins. When we get to the total here for this one, Jose will go over the cash flow. But when we get over to the total, we have a 9. It is juiced to the under. This opened up -115 to the under. Now it's -110 to the under. So we've had a slight move to the over, a slight move to the Minnesota Twins. Yes, Wager. I never think of it like that, but I wasn't planning on being on the Jays, but I really did like the breakdown, my man.
Yeah, I was not either, Jim, but this was one of those moments like we had with who was it? Texas Tech? Who was it that we bet at Pubpalooza?
Yeah, it was Tech. I believe
it was Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Give me that type of vibe.
Saturated's guess on the BB is Bulbous Beauty. No, he would be allowed to call him that. That'd be right. That'd be fair, ball. But Sir Mackey says Bayo is a bum. Maybe that will set Jose off a little bit here. Joe Ryan, 2-2 with a 3.18 ERA, 0.91 WHIP, 39 strikeouts in 34 innings. He's a 39.4 K to walk ratio. Is he finding himself? The question is, it's very easy to pitch at home against the Angels, where he went 7 innings, 4 hits, 11 strikeouts, and 1 walk. The Angels were in a tough travel situation for that series. He's got beautiful splits as always. Lefties don't hit him that hard. Righties don't hit him that hard. Brian Bayo coming off a quality start in a 13-3 win at Cleveland. He's got a 3.27 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, and we've got a very small sample size of innings. So we're not going to 7K, 6 walks, and 11 innings. We're not going to talk about what lefties doing to him, what righties doing to him. The sample size is too small. But Twins aren't hitting very well. 241, 693 OPS. Red Sox are hitting righties. 251, 755 OPS. The Twins bullpen at 3.42 ERA, 1.15 WHIP is better than the numbers that the Red Sox bullpen, 4.26 ERA, 1.27. Oh, you're right about the Jays, Sir Mackey. You were right about that. If you think I'll get it all upset about anybody saying shit about the Blue Jays, you're talking to the wrong dude, man. So here we go. Where is the advantage in this baseball game? And Joe Ryan's been phenomenal, but who cares what he does against the Angels? No offense, to all our teams suck. Why don't we just say that? Yeah. Okay, Jose Bouquet, Twins, Red Sox.
I will say that Troy and my teams do not. But,
Troy.
Yeah, some of us on this program think that the Cubs are better than the Dodgers. So,
I you put that out, Jose. We got to replay that one day, man.
Oh, well, Troy.
At the end of the season, when the Cubs make it farther than the Dodgers, we're gonna clip that out and we're gonna post it.
There you go. There you go. For your sake, I hope you guys are right. But if the Reds end up winning that division, don't be surprised.
If the Reds win the division, that's hilarious.
Johan Duran, 24 pitches last night. Griffin Jacks, 14. Cole Sands, 18. Bullpen pretty tired. I wouldn't be surprised if they went on back-to-backs, but I don't love backing a pitcher on a back-to-back, or I should say a bullpen on a back-to-back, kind of like that. Joe Ryan has faced the Red Sox plenty of times now. He is 3-2 against them. Last start against them last year was 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk, a home run allowed, and a 9-2 ass whooping there. He typically does pitch well against them, but if he does give up runs, it's going to be 3 of them. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, like I mentioned, 9 shutout, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, and his 3 starts in 24 and in 23 there. Only guy that hits him well, by the way, Alex Bregman, 6 hits and 12 ABs, 3 doubles, a home run. Trevor Story hits him okay in 5 plate appearances, but Devers, 15 plate appearances, 2 hits against Mr. Joe Ryan. Market in this game, 64% of the bets, 57% of the money on the Twins, 64% of the bets, and 59% of the money on the under in this game. Brian Bayo, not a bum. A lot of the chat members have been showing their bulbous, dumb pussy lips recently as well when it comes to pitchers. I'm just saying it's crazy to see these people saying that Brian Bayo sucks and other things in the chat as well that have annoyed me recently. When Brian Bayo's first 2 starts, 6 innings, 3 earned runs against a good Guardians team, 5 innings, 1 earned run against the Seattle Mariners, a team that is not good offensively, but it was at home, so they brought the sticks that day as well. I like Bayo. I trust him here, but the market is seemingly saying that this is going to be a tight game. Lean towards the under, but no action for me so far. Would love to hear what you guys have to say, but keep your dumb pussy lips in your fucking pants.
Jesus.
If you guys think you guys are making opinions of these pitchers.
Wow. It's like you're talking about his family members.
Yeah.
Wine time, Twins, Red Sox.
Yeah, it's a good ball game right here. I mean, Twins coming off 3 straight losses, Red Sox coming off back-to-back losses. I definitely had a lean towards the Red Sox. I mean, who do I think is the better team in this matchup? It's the Boston Red Sox. I don't believe in this Minnesota Twins team. It's a team I've been low on this year. I think they had a good advantage against the Angels that last weekend, which is why they got the sweep there, and their record looks a little bit better than it actually probably should be. But I definitely have a lean towards the Red Sox in this one, although I didn't move on it yet. Someone mentioned, I mean, it takes years off your lives watching this Twins team at times. It really does, man. Watching them on offense, I swear sometimes it's the most frustrating thing to ever watch in sports. It's something I don't want to watch. So for that reason, I'm just going to completely stay away from this game. I've got so much action today on this card. This definitely, I feel like the Red Sox should be priced a little bit higher of a favorite here. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm gonna end up staying away from this game. I think this is just a toss-up. I think Jose maybe mentioned the under in this one, probably. But I'm gonna end up staying away from this one. No play for me in this whatsoever.
Yeah, the only thing keeping me off of the Twins here is I don't want to back a pitcher off of a cushy, perfect start. Where he wasn't tested. He was in his wheelhouse. He was at home against a weak hitting team. Like that's not Fenway with the wind blowing to the monster against the Red Sox. But the market's telling us that they're live here. Troy Torrance, Twinkies, Red Sox.
I agree with everything that has been said. I was kind of looking some stuff up when Jose was talking. So I'm not exactly sure where his mind is in this game. But I agree exactly with Wine Time. Exactly what you just said. I don't want to back a pitcher off a cushy start like he just had. And I don't believe in this Twins team. I made a post on Instagram and on Twitter to my story, and I just showed the number of games each team has had versus teams that are below 500 because the Cubs, they had 0 before the Pirates series. And guess who the second team is in the MLB playing the worst schedule? It's the Twins. They have had 19 games with teams below 500. That's where all their wins really came from. And the second team behind the team that leads the MLB is the freaking Mets. And we'll get to them later. I can't wait because I am fading the Mets today. Database, though, Jimmy, you're spot on, bro. The market is telling us to back the Twins, and that stands up. I mean, 64%, 36-20 based on this current market environment in favor of the Minnesota Twins. And it's just a really tough game. I'm not backing. I do want to say, though, Bello is a pitcher I believe in. When I see him pitch, I don't agree with some of the numbers that are being projected out. I mean, this has been a guy that I've believed in for a couple of years now. He's got a 3.27 ERA, but a 7.37 xERA and a 0.317 xOBA, which just blows my mind. I don't know how that's possible. I know it's a small sample. He's got a full start like most, full repertoire of games to look at, but it's pretty surprising to me. I'm off this game. It's really tough. If I was going to bet it, I'd have to follow the database and bet the Twins.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm not going to. Shout out to Sharky Waters in the house. Great to see you, Sharky. Happy Derby weekend to you, my friend. We roll on. So this was Chat's on one today, man. This was supposed to be Wine Time start. We're going to make it Troy's start here. Let's roll. 7:10 p.m. Eastern with the Oakland Athletics, 17-15, 11-6 on the road at the Miami Marlins, 12-18, 8-8 at home, Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Our friend Spooner was champing at the bit to bet this baseball game.
Really? Because I haven't even looked at it yet. You said you're coming to me first. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm just going to throw up the white flag probably. He
wanted badly the youngster on the hill, the youngster Gunnar Hoglund, 25-year-old first-round pick by the Pirates out of high school. Didn't sign. Then was drafted again 3 years later. First-round pick, 19th overall by the Blue Jays out of Ole Miss. He was very good at Ole Miss, went into high A, went into rookie ball, climbed in 2023 from A to high A to double A Midland. In 2024, he started in double A Midland and looked very good, went up to triple A and wasn't quite ready. And then this year in triple A, he has looked very good. He's, had the process. And in Las Vegas, in the Pacific Coast League, a very difficult place to pitch, he has a 2.43 ERA. He has a 1.04 whip. He has 30 strikeouts and 7 walks in 29 2/3. He's looked very, very good. And there is an open rotation spot for Gunnar Hoglund if he's excellent today. Then you have Valente Belozo. I loved him last year. He was so good to my bankroll. He is a pitcher that I trusted, and we didn't see him to start the year with the big club, Valente Belozo. Valente Belozo out of Mexicali, Mexico. This year, he didn't start in the show. He started in AAA Jacksonville. He threw 19 and a third innings in AAA Jacksonville. He was excellent. These are two young pitchers that I believe in, and this is a fascinating situation. So we have Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Valente Belozo, they're being they got child gloves on him. They're not letting him go deep. They're not letting him see a lineup a third time. They're barely letting him see a lineup a second time. Last start, he went 3 2/3, allowed 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and 2-0 loss at the Mets. A's are hitting 246 with a 718 OPS versus righties this year. Marlins just 244, 693. Both bullpens have struggled. I mean, we've watched the A's bullpen struggle a lot. It just feels like we've been on the A's more than anyone else. Well, you have Wine Time back in business. This was Wine Time's game here, which means then Troy would open up with Dodgers Braves. AM is on the over 9, says has this modeled 2-11. Let's take a look at the line history here as well. This is also a situation where there's a little bit of possible precipitation in our end, which means it's probably closed. I've had a real difficult time figuring out when we should be able to, expect the roof to be open. I've always had that problem in Miami. This line right now is at -135. It opened up at -135. Now, in saying that, Spooner was tracking all the books, waiting for it to be open, and he got it -125. So we got a 10-cent discount on that one. And then when we get to the total, we have AM bullish on the over with these two young pitchers whom I like, but I could understand his perceived advantages. This has gone from 9 to 9.5. It is juiced to the under, but it's a legitimate move. Maybe we don't call it a half run, but we could call it, a quarter run here. A Wine Time, you may have missed it off the top, so I'll just redo it again. We had our Morgan Spooner champion.
He texted me yesterday and sent me the same. It's funny. Everything you said, he told me is I just sent this to Jimmy. So I know exactly all about this new pitcher Gunner right here from the A's. He told me to move on. Yeah, sorry, Jim. He told me to move on it last night. Line wasn't available for me. Didn't get available for me until this morning. It's a little bit too much out of my price range at this point. Does seem like the sharper money is on the Athletics here on this spot. It's a big time start for this guy here from the Athletics because they're missing a rotation piece. So they're trying to see if this guy can fill in the piece here. We'll see if he can give him 5 to 6 strong innings here. Athletics, a team my ROI has been very profitable on this season. I ended up backing them yesterday. I added them on the play after I heard you guys. I was listening at work and I heard you guys breaking down the entire game, and it all just made sense. And I ended up moving on the Athletics yesterday against my guy Tyler. Ended up working out. But this is going to be a pass for me, Jim. Looking at this total, seeing it open at a 9 and now at a 9.5 makes me think might be a lot of runs scored in this game. I kind of want to – I have a slight lean towards the over here in this spot, but I'm not going to end up moving on anything in this game ultimately. Marlins not playing good baseball. They kind of started off the first 15, 20 games, started off kind of hot. Haven't been able to get a win here. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow pulled out one here, but I don't have enough conviction in this game to back either side at this point. And I have a lean towards the over 9.5 just because it's going up. I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored. Maybe that means the Athletics hit their team total. Looking at their team total right now, see what I can get for a team total on the Oakland Athletics, Sacramento Athletics, I guess I should say now. Let me see. Apologies. I should have had this up. Oakland Athletics are – I don't even have a line on this right now. What the heck? I can't even find this on my book. This is crazy. This is the second time we've talked about games this week, Jim, that I haven't had one game on my book, which is absolutely wild.
Blame the state that you live in. And hopefully that changes. There's a lot of rumors that this will change in the next 5 years, but it's terrible that California and Texas don't get the opportunities of the cappers everywhere else. Sucks.
Yeah, I'll stay away from this game just because, I mean, I can't bet this right now, so I'm not going to give anything out I can't bet. And I most likely will stay away from this game, Jim. So this is going to be a pass for me. But I'm rooting for the Athletics for my guy Morgan because I love that information he shared yesterday.
Troy Torrance, Athletics, Marlins. Any interest?
Well, I trust Boone's right off the bat, his opinion on some of these pitchers. So if he says Hoagland's going to be a dog, the bookies are telling us Hoagland's going to be a dog. What else to expect except for Hoagland to be a dog today and go out and shut down the Marlins? You know, Belloso, it's really weird to look at some of his numbers, but obviously you're just looking at what his xERA is. I put a lot of weight into that because I find a lot of correlation with totals and with pitchers' xERAs. So that's why I use that metric and I value it so much. And if you look at him, he's got like a 2.34 ERA with a 6.87 xERA. So there's a reason he's getting pulled out of these games pretty early in his starts. And I think it's because he's showing that he's vulnerable. And maybe it happens pretty quickly. I don't know. But I do know that in this type of market, out of conference, especially with these small market teams like the A's and the Marlins, now the A's are Las Vegas now, but not quite yet. But with these type of teams that are not very competitive, I see a lot of manipulation with the markets and the pricing. Like I could totally see some late steam in this profile coming in and busting this deep into Athletics territory, especially if Hoagland is what we think he is at this point. You know, if the line ends up with a move towards the A's, you're going to see a floor of 64% in favor of the road team. So in favor of the A's. So right now, you know, at most books, you'll see a very slight move towards the A's. I think this might get drawn down towards the Marlins. Maybe you can get an A's minus 130. And then I think it gets blasted right before game. That's how I think this game's going to play out, especially if Hoagland is what it's looking like.
I'm surprised. I like these two young pitchers, and Belloso was so good to me last year. I don't. Jose Bouquet, A's, Marlins. Any interest?
No, unfortunately, a little bit too expensive for me. I do trust Spoons, and it would be A's or nothing for me here. But I already took one super juice favorite. I don't want to take another one here. I don't have any wager talk numbers, so I'll just echo action real quick on their money line. Saying that 67% of the bets, 84% of the money is on the Marlins, or excuse me, on the A's here. The line hasn't moved much though, so maybe like Troy says, if we can get that late steam to go to minus 150, I consider it then. But nothing here for me.
All right, let's roll on then. 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Our next spot. Sharky, we bring NBA Jam to our Pubapaloozas, man. So you got to come. It's so much fun, man. Dodgers.
I'm 0 for 4 versus Jimmy the Bag. I thought I was going to get my revenge this year, but it's going to have to wait a year, I guess.
Yeah, I did bring it, but we were just so locked in.
Yeah,
we were so locked in. It's impossible. Hey, you want to play a video game? No. I got 3K on these basketball games. Dodgers, Braves, Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, with Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the hill, coming off that 3-0 loss at home to the Pirates. I was hammering back and forth with TJ. I knew that I felt like Skeens was going to step up in LA. He was supposed to pitch at Angel Stadium. They pushed him back to go up against Yamamoto. Overall, I ended up on the first 3 under 1.5 at plus 120, which cashed, but Yamamoto allowed a run in the first inning. He allowed 3 runs overall. Just 1 was earned in that 3-0 loss at home to the Pirates. He's just shutting lefties down. Lefties are just swinging, wildly at him. 150, 439 OPS against left-handed bats. And, Verdugo, Matt Olson, Harris are lefties. Now you got Riley, Ozuna, Albies, Murphy, White, and Allen hitting from the right side where you have a chance against them, 230, 654 OPS. Then you have Grant Holmes on the hill. He's coming off a really ugly start at Arizona. And Grant Holmes is another, the righties are not just hitting him, they're smashing him. So you have Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Edman will hit from the right side. You have, Will Smith. This is a pitcher right now who is only allowing an average of 234, but the OPS of 932. They're barreling him, righties are. And what do the Dodgers do against righties? They smash them. 267, 820 OPS. The Braves versus Reddies, 254, 730 OPS. We have a Dodgers bullpen, 3.71 ERA, 1.21 whip, while the Braves bullpen is a 4 ERA, 1.19 whip. Let's get into the weather and the line history here. Troy is going to hit lead off. Jose will go over the cash flow information. It's possible light rain in the first hour, and again later, a possible light rain throughout. It's not supposed to be a big deal, though. Game's expected to go 6.3 miles per hour in, dies down to 3.6 miles per hour by the end of it. Line history-wise, from a total perspective, we have a 9, minus 108 to the under. Opened up minus 107 to the under, a 1 cent move towards the under. When we get to the money line here for this one, we have the Braves at plus 158. They opened up at plus 1, now plus 160. It moved 4 minutes ago again, so a 13-cent move away from them. The Dodgers have gone from minus 164 to minus 175. Here we go. Troy Torrance, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Grant Holmes in Truist Park, Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, to me, all you have to do is look at the price of this game and kind of have an idea of what's going to be happening. Yamamoto on the mound, you got a total of 9, and you got a Braves team. I mean, who people still look at the Braves and they know that they might be struggling this year a little bit, but they see them at home. And we know the Braves, they have some brand recognition. They have some name power, some name value, and you can see it in the market. So even with that counted in, we're seeing a plus 150 or more, or, around that. Very, very telling, in my opinion. I don't think there's much more to talk about in this game, but I will say that in this type of market, historically, you want the road team when it's in division. And most of the sample is in division, surprisingly enough. When you start looking at, you get out of division, and it's a lot more 50-50, a lot closer to 50-50, the closer when you get it out of division. But I will say this, though, when you see a big home dog with brand recognition, I'm talking Yankees, Phillies, Dodgers, anybody that's plus 120 or bigger that has brand recognition, who has a win percentage above 52%. And I think that's where we're going to see the Braves finish. It's an under. It's been an absolute wagon towards the under, 3-18 to the under. So something to consider is an under in this game. I'm not going to be betting it, but that's all I got, really.
Oh, it's helpful. Let's hear from Jose Bouquet, Dodgers Braves.
Yeah, this is just a lean to the under for me here as well. We've got Odd Logics, Wager Talk here saying 68% of the bets, 61% of the money on the Dodgers, 52% of the bets on the over, 52% of the money on the under. I could only really lean under here, but I wasn't very interested, so I stayed off.
One time, your thoughts on Dodgers Braves?
Yeah, shout out to my guy Sharky Waters Nation in the chat. He said he needs a pre-known West Coast bottle of red. Got the bottle of red over there. I don't really want to open up right now, but I got something better for you, Shark. Got a little bottle of Sailor. I'm going to take another shot for you, my guy. Cheers to you and everyone in the chat. Hit the like button, guys. We're here giving out plays for free. Love doing this with you guys. Love you guys. Cheers to you guys.
Okay, wine time in the house.
Delicious. I have a lean towards the Braves here in this spot, honestly, on the plus 1.5. My guy Stacks texted me this morning. He said it was kind of a little bit of a homer bet is Braves, but he thought it was a little bit disrespectful getting plus 1.5 and getting slight juiced here. I definitely had a lean towards that right now. It seems like everyone right now is coming in and hammering the Dodgers, at least on Action Network. Line moved a little bit towards the Dodgers, but nothing crazy, honestly. I have a lean towards the Braves on the plus 1.5, potentially on the money line if you want some plus money here, being at home. But I'm going to another pass from you, Jim. Like I said, I've just got a good amount of plays today. This wasn't a game I got involved in, but I have a lean towards the Braves. I mean, you're getting nearly plus 150 on them on a team that started off really sluggish this season, starting to come into better form now. Now that they're a little bit over 30 games in, I have a lean towards the Braves, but this is going to be another pass for me.
8-3 at home. The Braves are going up against a team that's under 500 on the road. Now they are the Dodgers with Yamamoto on the hill, but very, very, very interesting spot here. And the under is appealing enough, isn't it? The concern, I guess, is Grant Holmes.
It's just such a high. I mean, a 9 total for Yamamoto, though. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if.
No, we do see the Braves at home. They run a little higher compared to the average total around the MLB. We do see that, and it's Holmes. That's what they're saying is Holmes is vulnerable, but I don't know if I have the guts here to back the under when I probably should.
Grant Holmes so far this season has had just 2 home starts. He's allowed 1 run over 9 2/3. And that first start was against the Philadelphia Phillies. So it's not like he's going up against weak lineups. I mean, is this a situation where they're going to offer you a full game at 9, but the first 5 at 4.5? That's exactly what they're doing. Now the over 4.5 is juiced, but
obviously juiced, yeah.
That tells me that the first 3 under is in play here. So I have a lot of interest here in this first 3 under, and I'm not sure if I get there, but I'm very interested. Rogue Energy in the house. Great to see you, Rogue, man. Being too long, man. Rogue Energy in the house says getting disrespected at +150. All right, let's roll on. Jose getting us started here with the Houston Astros at the Chicago White Sox. We're at right field in Chicago, Illinois. Take a look at the weather in Chicago. 50 Fahrenheit, feels like 45. 7.2 miles per hour left to right and in. Stays at 7.2 miles per hour throughout. We have Framber Valdez going up against Jonathan Cannon. Valdez so far this year has been getting hit very hard against lefties. And I went back, and that's something that happens for him. He's got reverse splits. Lefties hit him harder than righties. But it's just Benintendi. And honestly, I don't know if Cairo will hit from the right side or the left side, even though I don't see how, judging by the statistics this year, you would hit from the right side if you were a switchy. But they only going to have Benintendi as the only true left-handed bat in the lineup, because that's what it states at this point. Going up against Jonathan Cannon, 1-3, 4.50 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. He's allowed 5 jacks this year. His K to walk ratio is an issue. He looked better in that 10-3 win at the A's. He went 7 2/3. It was a great start. 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. His splits are perfectly fine. There's not a side that hits him. But the White Sox do not hit lefties. 200 average, no power at all. 569 OPS. Astros versus righties, 237, 660 OPS. And the Astros bullpen gives them an enormous advantage. But this White Sox bullpen's been a lot better than everybody expected. 4.37 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. Doesn't feel like they're falling off. And Jonathan Cannon is a pitcher that Jose's talked about a lot, and an interesting pitcher, a pitcher that we're going to find a reason to back at some point. This total opened up at 7.5, slightly juiced to the under, and now we have an 8. Now we are sitting at an 8. Shout out to Big Zoe, now a PSR Gold member for 12 months. We are racing for $50 today. Let's go. We got to do horses, though, Jose. It is the Kentucky Oaks Day, so we got to go with the thoroughbreds here. But this total's gone up from 7.5 to 8, legitimately. Framber hasn't looked great, but maybe Cannon's vulnerable as well. When we get to the money line here, we have the Astros opening up at -228. They're now -235, so not much going on here. Jose Bouquet, do you have any interest in backing Jonathan Cannon or a first 3 plus a half or anything of that sort? And what are your feelings on Framber Valdez, who's coming off a beautiful start at the Kansas City Royals, and now he's facing a White Sox team that's not hitting? Take it away.
My way to back Cannon would be a full game under here. Personally, you mentioned the White Sox bullpen being better than expected. 57% of the bets on the over, 75% of the money on the over in this game. We are seeing 7.5s go up to 8, so probably keeps me off there. And a 61% of the bets, 90% of the money on the Houston Astros here, according to Odds Lot or Wager Talk. Sorry. Line has gone up at some places here. I'm seeing Penny have this open up at -228. We're at 235 now. And to be honest, it just doesn't seem like that much of a movement to have all those bets and money on it. So if I had to make one play, it'd be the under, thinking that Jonathan Cannon can keep this shit together and the bullpen can hold it down. But it just, didn't all correlate. So I stayed off.
Yeah, I get it.
And shout out to Billy Friedrich. He's been cashing the first 5s on the White Sox for a while now. It feels like 6-7 days straight now, Billy. First 5 plus a half, thinking this could be low scoring. Another good way to do it as well.
Yeah, we have AM on the under 2 with confidence. It's a tricky Kentucky Oaks, Sway, which we have the biggest favorite in the Kentucky Oaks, and I couldn't remember a bigger favorite. She's won by a combined 40 lengths. That's what I mean.
What's his name?
What is her name? I'm not sure exactly if there's any chance to fade her. I don't think there is, honestly. I can tell you who I can pull up my notes and tell you who I think is the only option to fade here. But it's a as difficult a setup here as you could possibly imagine, trying to find somebody who might be able to beat Good Cheer.
Wyatt is New Corker's upset pick for those keeping track out there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it a little more when we get down through baseball here, but it's really, really tough. And AM says the consensus right now in the market is I can't back Tenma Sweaty Butcher at all. I'm not. But again, we'll go over it a little more. AM saying that the consensus here is still 7.5 in the marketplace. I don't see that at all with what I'm looking at here. Maybe I should refresh it. Did it move back? I see a full. I mean, the 7.5 I'm looking at the site we used to play poker at is -123 to the over and +103 to the under. All of the sharp offshores have moved it to 8, and the sharpest of the offshores, it's like a pretty much regular 8, -103 to the over, -109 to the under. I'm not saying that you're wrong for being on the under here. I couldn't disagree more with that consensus. AM. I'm looking at 20 books right now. So, but whatever, take it away here for us. Wine time. Astros, White Sox.
Yeah, Astros are almost going to be the second leg of this parlay that I'm going to give out later. I ended up not taking them. Kind of glad I did at this point now. Astros coming off a loss, White Sox coming off one of their 8 wins this season. Kind of wanted to fade them there in that spot, but I have seen a little bit of line movement towards the White Sox since this opened up for me last night. Right now, I'm plus 210 right now for the White Sox. I'm not going to take that. Sorry, I hate to sound like I'm not giving out any plays right here, but this is another game I just want nothing to do with, honestly. Would I maybe parlay Houston up? Maybe, but it's not worth it for me here at this point. Jonathan Canning, he's been decent this season. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of this White Sox team, and this is a game I don't have an angle on to give out a play, so I'm going to stay away from this game.
Yeah, I get it. I can understand the concern here. Troy, take it away. Astros, White Sox.
Yeah, this is very interesting to me because it's basically the inverse of the cash cow. Always the cash cow is the home team. Well, the first thing I just did, because how are the Astros on the road as a big favorite over the past few years? Now, most of this sample that I'm about to give you is from 2023, but there's 7 games still from last year. As a favorite of +130 or more, they're 10-2 straight up, 9-3 on the run line. And I started looking at some of the losses, right, getting into the sample. And the one loss they had was to the White Sox. I'm looking at big road favorite and a short total, right, because this is a short total for such a big favorite. One of the losses they had was to the White Sox, and it was last year. The line opened exactly where this line opened today, but it moved 30 cents towards the White Sox. In this case, I mean, the 2 books that I use from a database standpoint, they both moved this line the other way towards the Astros. I think that's pretty telling as well. But home dogs of +180 or more. Why do I use +180? It's because if you filter it down to all the games that were +180 or bigger, it averages out to an average line of +206, which is spot on what we're looking at today. With a total of 8.5 or less, the road team in that case, 24-10 straight up, 22 on the run line, 22-12 on the run line. If the market also moved towards the road team, 15-6 straight up, 14-7 on the run line. If 80% of cash is on the road team, 10-3 straight up, 9-4 on the run line. And if it also moved towards the over, which I'm seeing as well, 4-0 straight up, winning by 3, 3, 6, and 7. And, I thought this was a perfect game to parlay with the Yankees, but I wouldn't mind the run line in this situation either. But I do believe Jonathan Cannon's one of the Sox best pitchers. So take that for what it is. I don't think the White Sox are going to be able to touch Framber Valdez. Look at what happened, this year when they seen 2 quality left-handed starters. The quality, right, at the top of the first quadrant of left-handed pitching, they got absolutely blanked, shut out. So, even if Jonathan Cannon pitches five, with a goose egg, I still think they're going to be in trouble. I like the Astros to win and cover, but I did the Astros-Yankees money line parlay.
Astros-Yankees money line parlay. Let's roll on here. Next up is Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Wine Time going to be handling this. Seattle Mariners, Texas Rangers. Seattle Mariners 18-12, 6-6 on the road. At the Rangers 16-16, 11-6 at home. In Globe Life Field, let's take a look at the weather to see whether that roof will be. It won't. No, it's very cold in Texas. Wow. And rain. So roof will be closed for two elite pitchers in Brian Wu and Jack Leiter. Leiter pitching. Leiter's splits right now are, I know it's a very small sample size. The dude's pitched 13 and a third innings, but nobody's touching him at all through 13 and a third so far. He just coming off a 3-2 loss at the Giants. They're using kid gloves with him. And he allowed 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 4 Rs. First time that he'd been touched. Lefties are hitting 160 with a 392 OPS. Righties 182, 490 OPS. Again, the sample size is so small, it's not a big deal. You want to talk about splits. Brian Wu is not getting touched by either side as well. 203, 590 OPS. 211, 555 OPS. AM is on the under 8 in this one. He's got 2 studs on the mound with the roof closed. Brian Wu coming off allowing 2 earned runs over 6 innings in the 4-3 win at the Red Sox. He looked very good in that. He's got a 0.97 whip. His K to walk ratio is nice, 30-7 with 3 home runs allowed. The Mariners are raking. We know that. 244, 780 OPS. We talked about whether I should move on them to win the West. I got talked out of it, and the lines moved heavily in their favor since then. Probably no point to do it now. The Rangers are hitting just 229, 661 OPS. They've not looked good. Mariners bullpen here, 3.70 ERA, 1.34 whip, while the Rangers bullpen 3.73 ERA, 1.22 whip. Let's get into the line history here for this spot. We have a total at 8.5. It's minus 112 to the under. This opened up at 8 and has climbed up to 8.5 now. It opened up at 8 and was juiced to the under. That was at 9:28 p.m. last night. The first time it got up to 8.5 was 8:48 a.m. Then it went back down to 8. But then at 9:45 it got up to 8.5 and it stayed there. So we, there was a point where the over started getting hammered, and it looked like we could go to a 9. But about 18 minutes ago, we had a 9-cent move back to the under at 8.5 here. So Sharky Waters saying this one is an over. Let's pull up the line history on the money line and then hand it off to Wine Time. Money line wise here, we have the Rangers at plus 101. They opened up at plus 104, so just the tiniest little bit of movement. And then the surprise move towards the over. Wine Time, take it away, man. Floor's yours.
Yeah, this is an interesting game right here. This is a big game for both teams. You kind of touched on it. Mariners playing some really good baseball last couple weeks. Kind of start off a little slow, especially offensively. They've been able to get it together late in these ball games, man. It seems like in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, if you see the Mariners down in a game, guys, you might want to move on them live because all it takes is a couple guys to get on base and for one of these guys to come up and knock all these guys in with either a double or a home run. Just seems like when it comes to later in these games, the Mariners are playing some clutch baseball right now. Looking at their batting order, it's nothing to write home about. I mean, you got some good guys in that lineup. They moved J.P. Crawford up. I think he's leading off now, which is actually kind of crazy. But Julio Rodriguez, kind of struggling a little bit so far this year. He's still playing some good center field out there. Cal Raleigh, we know he's one of the better catchers in the league right now. Randy Rosareno, we know he can go yard at any time in any game. Texas Rangers really struggling last couple weeks. They're sitting here at 500 now. At one point, I thought this was probably the best team in the West over there in the AL, but kind of starting to move towards the Mariners, if we're being honest. I like the Rangers here in this, though, in this spot, honestly. I kind of like what Sharky was saying on the over, too. It's kind of crazy that if we see a 9 here with these 2 pitchers on the mound, I think that's telling us everything we need to know. This game most likely will go over, but I like the Rangers here in this spot. I'm going to back Leiter, and I'm going to back the Texas Rangers batting order here at home on a Friday night. Mariners 4 straight wins right now. Like I said, it's been later in these games where they've been kind of taking over. Going to need some good innings out of the bullpen as well from the Rangers. But I think looking at the market right now, I mean, from what it's telling me, 40% this is on Action Network, of course, 40% of bet, 73% of money. Definitely looks sharp, and the lines slightly move towards the Rangers. I'm getting a plus 100 right now, so that's what I'm going to give out to you guys. Texas Rangers plus 100 on the money line. I think they're going to get it done here at home. against the Mariners. It's a big game for them, a division game. Mariners, I mean, if Mariners take care of business in this series, the Mariners might start running away with this kind of early, especially the way the Angels are playing right now. The Athletics are probably going to be around a 500 team throughout the midway of the season. We're going to see what the Astros do in this Rangers team, a 500 team right now. They need this game, honestly, if we're being honest. And I kind of want to move on this over 3.5 minus 125 on their team total. That's something I'm going to move on later in the afternoon, but I just now moved on the Texas Rangers plus 100 on the money line. I like the Rangers in this spot.
Rangers for wine time. So, basically, Leiter's, it's pretty better description. He was unhittable, got the blister, was gone, came back, had 25 days in between starts, and then looked a little bit vulnerable. And I don't know what we're going to get from him now. I really don't. Let's move on and hear what Troy is thinking here. We have wine time on the Rangers at plus 100. It is Quinn Priester Day, Mr. Belvedere. I'm excited to talk about him. Troy, take it away. Mariners, Rangers.
Damn, wine time. He just got the natural instinct. He's got the eye of the tiger. I'm telling you, wine time, you're spot on, man. Just looking at this market, there's a reason I bet the Blue Jays yesterday, and I bet the Guards the past 2 days, and it's because short home dogs in this price range, in division especially, they murder. As long as we're not seeing big plus money on the range, as long as we don't start getting into plus 105, plus 110 territory, I'm very confident in the market. And if this line moves 6 cents or less, which is, that's like the line barely moves in a lot of these games. You narrow this sample down, which is 60% floor, to when the line moves 6 cents or less, which I think is we're going to end up seeing in this market. The home team is 72% straight up in a pretty decent sample, 38 and 15. I think it's pretty impressive. You can get into the cash flow when you start plugging that in. It only gets better for the home team in this situation. I'm Rangers or pass. I'm going to have to believe in Leiter.
Interesting. Jose Bouquet.
I just baited the Rangers yesterday. I had 2 units on the under. I had the Athletics money line. I did that. There's 2 games here today that I'm thinking about doing that. Right. Let's do it. Jimmy, give me the Rangers.
Let's go.
All right. We have wine time and Troy on the Rangers. It's too bad the blister happened. Jose, you had nailed it. You had absolutely nailed it. I was right with you. We were cashing on 2 starts for Leiter, and then he gets the blister. And now you guys can stay confident, and maybe this is the right spot now. But for me, all bets are off now. I just, he was lights out, gone for over 3 weeks, comes back, looks a little vulnerable. Now, is this the home start where he gets right back on track? Jose, take it away.
I do think he comes back and pitches well here. I would be more concerned if it was like shoulder, elbow, forearm, something like that. Blister isn't like fundamental that will scare me. It definitely can reoccur, which is also a factor. 4 walks in this last time out. I think I can chalk that one up, hopefully, to him being a little nervous coming back for his first start. I think he settles back down. All of his appearances, except for that last one, no walks, 1 walk. His lone minor league start, 4 Ks, 1 walk. Excuse me. So I think that's I think that's the big thing that matters here. Shout out to Top Set saying he's convinced, but I'm still first 5 under here. I think Leiter pitches well. I like Brian Wu. This is one of those bets where it's not a market bet for me. It is I believe the Texas Rangers are the best team in this division bet. I think Jack Leiter is a bet on pitcher bet. And I'm going to bet back the Texas Rangers here as well. Full game money line for me at plus 101. I will also mention that I added a parlay here as well because I don't like really this card all too much. The juice favorites are seemingly to be the theme of today. I bet Cincinnati Reds as well. That line ballooned. It was minus 170 when we talked about it. Now it's at minus 190 for the Reds here. So I just took them with the Yankees as well. It's like plus 105 for me. But Yankees Reds. So 2 Yankees parlays for me. Troy, don't ever say I don't fucking back the cash cow.
He just baited the cash cow, and you said fuck you to me. That's it. You said those words exactly.
That is facts. These are all facts, but that was a minus 300.
Storage Club is on the over in that one. So this is the first game now where we've had 3 of our guys all on a side, that side being the Texas Rangers on the money line. Mr. Belvedere is saying you're doing a friends and family parlay today. Feels like a great idea. I'm down. I'm down for doing that for sure. Let's roll on to our next spot on the board, that being Troy Torrance's Chicago Cubs. And this is a perfect timing because Troy Torrance will be getting us started here. Cubbies 19-13, 10-6 on the road at the Milwaukee Brewers, 16-69 at home at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ben Brown on the hill for the Cubbies. He has not looked good through 25 1/3 thus far. 31 strikeouts though, 14 walks. His last start was a 10-4 loss at home to the Phillies. He went 3 2/3, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. Lefties are hitting him hard, 321, 880. Righties are hitting him hard, 308, 778 OPS. Going up against a pitcher who I have backed, maybe not as much as Emerson Hancock, who, of course, is coming off yet another quality start. Quinn Priester, though, did cost me a capper who was used to hang with us. I was so I don't know how it's so easy for cappers to write off top 10 pitchers in a draft. I mean, it's shocking that you don't give them the time. And I always go back to the Doc Holliday having the worst ERA in the league one year and coming back and being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Quinn Priester, 1-0, 3.79 ERA, 1.63 whip. Look, his K to walk ratio is a real problem. He's only allowed 1 homer in 19 innings. He's coming off a bad start at the Cardinals. And lefties hit 257, 752 OPS. And the righties hit 270, 781 OPS. And so, AM, like, we don't need to get into it. He's been an all-star since that 2/3 of an inning bad start, but you're welcome to skew numbers however brings you joy. I could give a fuck. Cubs versus righties, 260, 781 OPS. Brewers versus righties, 251, 723 OPS. Cubs bullpen has been a problem, 4.64 ERA, 1.44 whip. The Brewers bullpen, 4.90 ERA, 1.38 whip. When we get to the money line spots here, Quinn Priester is plus 105. He opened up at even money, so we've had a slight move to the Chicago Cubs. And when we get to the total here in this one, we have a 9, minus 117 to the under. This opened up at 8.5, juice to the under. Then it got up to 9. Now, it's not a real 9. You can call it like a 8.75. Troy Torrance, take it away, my friend. We have your Cubbies in Milwaukee.
All right. I'll give you what I do have on this game, because when it comes to the Cubs right now, I don't know if there's really that much to look into. You just bet the Cubs first 5 money line. In this case, money line, if you have to lay a half run, that's what you have to do. But at this point, that's exactly what I'm doing. I got 2 units on the Cubs first 5 money line. I think we have the pitching advantage, starting pitching advantage with Ben Brown. Priester, like you said, is trouble with his strikeout to walk ratio. And the Cubs, they're going to draw 4 walks today. 3 of those walks are going to cross the plate. And that's going to be a problem for Quinn Priester. The market, I just talked about these short home dogs in division. The Cubs have basically been living outside the realm of the database all season long. I don't see why that's going to change now. But, if I was just looking at the market, I didn't have these the team names or the pitchers or anything, I would say the Brewers are the side. But it's not even an option for me. It's the Cubs first 5 money line, minus 115. Yesterday, I did plan to bet the Cubs live. That's not the case today. I'm not betting the Cubs live. I just want them in the first 5, and I want them on the money line.
That's a real interest.
The Cubs have the best lineup in baseball. They have the best offense from top to bottom. They're very well balanced. They got, guys like Swanson and PCA at the bottom of the lineup, guys like Tucker, Suzuki, Happ at the top of the lineup. Their bullpen is starting to heat up. I know Hodge is out. He's probably my favorite guy in the bullpen right now. And it's funny because the Cubs, they have this vaunted defense, but they've been making some errors, including Dansby Swanson, who just made the first error of his season yesterday. But actually, he made 2 errors the past 2 days, to be honest. One of them didn't get counted as one, but it was. This Cubs team, I don't know, how deep they're going to be able to make it with their bullpen. But I do think that they got to just start adding arms, and maybe they could be like the Rays a couple years ago, piecemealing games together, couple relievers, couple starters. Flexen just got called up. Horton just got called up. Those are 2 guys in the minors who have been absolutely balling. Flexen, you're going to see him very soon, and he's been shutting shit down in the minors.
Chris Flexen,
my guy.
We're relying on Chris Flexen in the year of our Lord 2025. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Hey, you give us a good inning or 2.
He gets a lot of soft contact, but that's the only good thing I can say about him. Here we go. Wine time. Take it away. We have a situation with Ben Brown, who's actually looked really good on the road so far in this short sample size, against Quinn Priester, who, there was a lot of capital that the Brewers gave up for Priester. Top 10 pick in the draft, and now he's looked great in Milwaukee. But again, he's had mostly road starts.
I mean,
Take it
Ben
away.
Brown does have dirt. He's got dirty stuff. Like, even if you look at the blow-ups he's had this season, the one for San Diego, that was all walks. Those 5 runs were 4 of them were from walks, and the versus Phillies, it was soft contact, bloopers, fucking infield hits. Like, he's got dirty stuff, Ben Brown.
He does. He does. These are 2 very interesting pitchers. I mean, if they both went out there and shut shit down for 4 or 5 innings, I wouldn't be surprised. If they both went out there and allowed 4 runs each, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's a tricky spot, and I'm high on Priester. Take it away for us, Wine Time, Cubbies Brewers.
Yeah, it's an interesting game right here. Troy kind of touched on this game already. Chicago Cubs, one of the better lineups in baseball right now from top to bottom. They got a lot of good guys in that order, well balanced. So I like this Cubs team throughout this whole season, honestly. This isn't a spot I moved on the Cubs on. I mean, it's crazy. I've been on the Cubs this whole season. I faded them in 2 games. First game, they blew me out in Pittsburgh, 9-0. Next game, Andrew McCutchen, the 8th inning. Sucks that guy fell from that wall during that play, but ended up getting the win in that game. And I said to myself, I'm not going to put myself through this stress anymore on fading the Chicago Cubs. I'm just not going to do it. I'm only going to back them. I don't want to back him here in this spot, though. I do think Ben Brown is better than what his ERA is telling us right now. And this Brewers lineup is a pretty favorable lineup, I think, for him. I'm not high on this Brewers lineup by any means right here. Seeing the Cubs, the line move a little bit towards them here in this spot too. Earlier, I think they were at -112. I want to see where they're at right now here on my book. Let's see here. Chicago -116. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this go to a -120, maybe even a -125 before first pitch, which makes me want to move on the Cubs. I might end up moving on the Cubs. That's my lean here in this game. I just couldn't get enough conviction to back them here on this spot on the road. This is the Apple TV game. A lot of eyes are going to be on this game, I feel like. I'm gonna stay away from this. If the Cubs go down early, I'll definitely move on them live if I can get some plus money on them. But I'm gonna stay away from this game. Nothing I want to move on here.
Jose, any interest in Cubs Brewers before you hit lead off on Mets Cardinals?
Yeah, I am interested in this game. Troy, let's just do it. Troy, go Cubs, go. Go Cubs. Fuck the Cubs today. How about that? Everyone's on the Cubs today. -115. This is the trappiest line of the day. The Cubs are rolling. They're going to win the division. They're going to beat the Dodgers. They're the best team in baseball. They've got a great manager who's still on the Brewers payroll, as Spoon says in the chat. This is a fishy-ass line. Everyone's betting the Cubs here. A shitload of people in the chat are betting the Cubs here today. 62% of the bets, 85% of the money on the Cubs here today. And this line has barely moved for shit. Now, if this when 10 minutes before game time, this is -130, this is -125, I'll chalk my L. But I don't think this line moves. I think this line has had plenty of time to move. And I think Quinn Priester drops his balls in the mouth of Chicago today. Now, Ben Brown has already dropped his balls in the mouth of the Milwaukee Brewers. 7 no-hit innings, 10 Ks, 2 walks last year. But I challenge you, Ben Brown, to do it again. And I think this Milwaukee Brewers bullpen, which has been horrible, will progress and will get better here. 5.13 bullpen ERA, FIP 3.92, xFIP 3.432. I think they'll end up as a top 20 15 bullpen in baseball. They're not going to be horrible. Give me the Milwaukee Brewers here, full game money line at plus, let me tell you right now, plus 106.
Plus 106. I've got lots to think about with this game. Again, I've got the same bias where I'm very hesitant to fade the Cubs, but it's one-way traffic for me on the Brewers, but I don't know if I get there. I'll have to take some time with this one afterwards. Let's roll into Mets Cardinals. We heard Sharky Waters Nation say that the Cardinals is the sharpest spot on the board. Let's talk about Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. First off, let's talk about the weather here in this one. There's drizzle and some light rain early and late in the game. Shouldn't be an issue. 64. It's kind of cold. 64 Fahrenheit at first pitch. Very little wind. Get into the line history here for Clay Holmes, not to be confused with Grant Holmes, who we just discussed, but we have Clay Holmes going up against Sonny Gray. We have a total of 7.5. There's been 8 cents of movement to the over. This is basically, there's been 8 cents of movement to the over, and then it's come back, and then 8 cents of movement to the over, and then it's come back, and now we're at 8 cents of movement to the over again. So this is the third time we've gone through this rigmarole. When we get to the money line here, we have the St. Louis Cardinals at plus 103. They opened up at plus 107. So there's been a slight move towards the Cardinals. The Mets, like the Dodgers, have a very good record, but it's not happened on the road. Dodgers game under 500 on the road. Mets are 500 on the road. Cardinals, though, are 10-5 at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Clay Holmes has looked very good for the Mets. Lefties aren't hitting him. Righties aren't hitting him. Neither has no PS over 600 either side. His last start, 2-0 win at the Nationals. He went 5 strong, didn't allow a run, 2 Ks and no walks. Sonny Gray coming off a quality start at home, so we got the consecutive home starts going for him. Lefties are hitting just 196, 609. Righties 237, 674. Neither pitcher has any issues with splits. Mets versus righties 235, 721 OPS. Looking at the Mets starting out 21-11 and the Cardinals 14-18, I'd be surprised when I heard that the Cardinals are hitting righties this year harder than the Mets. Mets bullpen, though, has been very good. 3.26 ERA, 1.18 whip, while the Cards bullpen is a 4.69 ERA, 1.34 whip. Jose Bouquet, Mets Cardinals, take it away.
Yeah, Jesus, it just started raining here. It's fucking dropping fat droplets down here at San Antonio. Cardinals Mets here. I think this is a pretty obvious. Well, okay, I don't want to call it obvious, but it seems like the market is indicating that the Cardinals are the spot here. You guys see on the board here minus 125. I've seen that line kind of trickle down here from minus 120, minus 115 ish now. I wish this ticket count was flipped, and this is one of those rare, I don't know if it's rare, I guess I haven't tracked it, but it's one of those ticket counts where it's very different from action. On action, it says 22% of the bets, 50% of the money on the Cardinals here. On our friends at Wager Talk here, we have 53% of the bets on the Cardinals and 79% of the money on the Cardinals here. Now, I wish that was flipped, and I wish that was all on the Mets here, and the line is moving towards the Cardinals. I feel much more strongly about the Mets here. I do think they are the play, or excuse me, I think the Cardinals are the play here. I haven't moved on it yet. Would love to hear what you guys in the chat have to say. Would love to hear what you guys on the panel have to say, even though I know you guys are on the Cardinals, but I just want you guys to say it so I can feel better about myself when I bet them. So Cardinals probably for me.
Cardinals probably there. Troy Torrance, your thoughts?
I like this game a lot too. I bet this game pre-flop before I even came on the show. I mean, it's great conditions for a bet on the Cardinals here. You got a short home dog, Publix on the road team, you got a low total. The Cardinals in this price range are 17-9 in the past 3 years. They're 4-0 this season, winning all 4 games by 2 runs or more. And I talked about earlier, the Mets have played the easiest schedule MLB this year to date. They just swept the Cardinals, so they got that sour, bitter taste in their mouth. And they just came off an ass whooping yesterday. So, give me Sonny Gray, give me the Cardinals. I just took a money line full game. And the price I got on that wager was plus 102.
It makes sense to me. Wine time, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. This might be a consensus play. I haven't moved on it quite yet, but I can get a plus 105 on the Cardinals right now. I really want to do it, honestly. It seems like the public's going to be coming in hammering the New York Mets. Troy already touched on it. They've had the weakest schedule this season. Already swept this team. Like, I mean, the Cardinals better come out here and give them the best game they played this season. They're sitting right here. What's their record? Like 4 games under 500. They need to start winning. I think this is a perfect spot for Sonny Gray here against the Mets. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this Mets team. I think their 21-11 record is very deceiving. It's because they've played the weakest schedule.
Wine time. To that question you just had, they're 4 games under 500. They're 14-18 on the season, but 10-5 straight up at home. Yeah,
exactly. I'm going to back the St. Louis Cardinals here. I'm going to do it right now at plus 105 because I'm afraid it might get to a plus 100 here pretty soon. So I'm going to move on it with you guys. I like it. It seems like the sharp play here. It seems like the right play situationally with the X's and O's and everything. Everything lines up here with this for me, so I'm going to move on it right now. I'm going to tweet it out at plus 105.
And I'm just going to push back real quick on AM saying this is a public dog. I consider public dogs to have more than 60, 70, 80% of the tickets on them when it comes to, being public dog. 53% of the bets, 79% of the money feels like more of a sharp dog than that because there are bigger bets seemingly just by the amount of tickets to money ratio there. So that's my only pushback to you, AM. Good luck, though.
All right, let's roll. But let's hear from Nicholas Earl, a New York Mets fan. He says, feels like the Mets are the team this year where the sharp money doesn't matter. I've seen line moves against them all the time with all the money on them. They just win the lean cards, but pass. Rob Free says, can you make sure I'm in the horse race? Never hear my name mentioned at all. I'm not. I don't.
No, you're in there, Rob Free. I have my master list in front of me, and I see you every time. So I promise you're in there.
We also have Mr. Belvedere's entire action: Orioles -1, Blue Jays -1, Twinkies money line, Brewers money line, and the Cards money line as well. Pig Milk UFC play of the day. We all got paid on Wellmaker last week.
We did. Shout out to you, Billy.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. So easy, so smooth.
I love not watching the bets and then just refreshing my account later and just seeing the cash come in and be like, oh, what happened? And then it's all Wellmaker. Thank you, Billy. And I didn't even watch the fight. So shout out to you, my man.
Sounds like a real sports fan there, Jose. Let's move on. 9:38 p.m. Eastern, Detroit Tigers 20-12, 7-9 on the road at the Los Angeles Angels 12-18, 5-5 at home. We're at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. We're going to flip this here. We're going to have wine time talk Angels to get us started here, and then we'll have thank you, rigmarole. Thank you, Saturated. Then we'll have Troy close up shop here. So let's roll. Nunya in the house, our Cappers Contest champion, rocking with us. And Billy Friedrich says, yes, sir, Jose. You're welcome anytime. We have Tariq Skubal going up against Jose Soriano here. Barry Smith giving us final score, by the way, of 5-3 Mets. We have let's go to the weather and the line history, and then here wine time lament about the Angels, who got off to such a great start. 68 Fahrenheit, feels like 66, 8 miles per hour out to straightaway center. Schoolball coming off a 7-0 win at home versus the Orioles. 6 innings, 4 hits, 11 strikeouts, and no walks. He has looked absolutely dynamite at home. On the road, he hasn't looked dynamite. Overall, though, 2.34 ERA, 1.04 whip, 40 strikeouts, and 5 walks. I mean, he's a phenomenal pitcher. Lefties stand no chance against Tariq Skubal, so you have to fill your lineup with righties. And it's not a dangerous group here. Ward, Nito, Rengifo will be hitting from the right side. Soler, Ohapi, Shanwell is the lefty. Campero will hit from the right side. Kyron Paris from the right side. And then the wait for Joe Adele again to be a superstar continues as he's turning the lineup over and batting ninth. So Saturated says some terrible things about Jose that I won't say out loud. He's upset about what you've said about the Cubs, Jose. We have the righties against Tariq Skubal right now are hitting 260 with a 679 OPS. Hitting him harder than usual. AM is on the over at 7.5 here. Going up against Jose Soriano. And it's got to the point now, Troy, where I don't know what to do with him. I felt like I was ahead of the market when he started pitching well. Now I feel like I'm paying for the money I've made off of him. His last start, he only made it through 5 innings at the Twins. It was a 5-0 loss. Lefties are hitting him 269, 760. Righties 274, 684. Tigers are hitting 244 with a 715 OPS versus righties, and the Angels versus lefties are anemic, 204, 583 OPS. But the Tigers bullpen also provides an enormous advantage over the Angels. So we have the 7.5 on the total. It's heavily juiced to the under, minus 116. So we've had 16 cents of movement towards the under. When this opened up, the over 7.5 was minus 112 and the under was plus money. So a big move towards the under here. And from a cash flow standpoint, we have the Angels at plus 177. They opened up at plus 145. So a monstrous move towards the Detroit Tigers. Billy Friedrich says it's a great Tigers minus 1 spot. Wine time, take it away. Your Angels at home against the 20-12 Tigers. But again, another team with a phenomenal record that's based on their home success, not their road success. Take it away for us. Wine time.
Yeah, Angels 3-13 last 16 games. It's been brutal, man. And Trout goes on the IL yesterday. It looked like they're hitting actually looked better yesterday, although they only scored 4 runs. They were getting people on base, it seemed like every single inning. Couldn't really get them home. Angels, it seems like whenever they hit a home run, there's no one on base. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I think they have like an 80% rate out of their home runs being solo shots. It's the highest in the MLB. It's absolutely crazy, man. And seeing this line movement towards the Tigers, I mean, this tells us everything here, guys. This is a Tigers absolute smash spot, I think. I'm not going to move on the Tigers smash, but I'm going to move on something a little bit different. I'm going to move on Scooble. This is something I don't ever do, guys. I'm going to move on him over 7.5 strikeouts. Angels, it seems like they're striking out every single inning. It seems like 2 to 3 times every single inning. They're not putting the ball in play. When they do put the ball in play, good things happen, but it just doesn't seem like. And we're seeing Taylor Ward go up there. We're seeing him take third pitch strikes in consecutive games multiple times a game. It's absolutely wild. You could blame it on the OC. You could blame it on the hitting coach. Batter's still got to go in there and do his job. But they're just not making the adjustments that the pitchers on these opposing teams are making towards these Angel hitters. They know how to throw to these Angel hitters now, and these Angel hitters aren't making the adjustments. We saw Kyron Paris start off hot. What they start doing, throwing him the sinker ball in. Can't hit it. Can't make the adjustment. I think he's like 1 for his last 27. They're still throwing him out there every day because he's young, but this isn't a team you guys want to back here as a pretty big dog here, guys. It keeps moving towards the Tigers. I'm on Scooble over 7.5 strikeouts, minus 110. I think he's going to easily be able to strike out 10 Angels today. You even want to do it on the extended line, 8.5, 9.5. He's going to get it. He's going to strike out a lot of Angels tonight. Kind of wish Trout was in the lineup for that because he does strike out a lot as well. But you know what? I still think Taylor Ward's going to strike out a couple times today. I think Jorge Soler is going to strike out a couple times as well. And when you get towards that bottom of the order with Kyron Paris and with guys like Joe Adell, those guys are going to strike out too. It's just been horrible at bats for the Angels these last couple weeks. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make an adjustment. I told you guys yesterday they should fire Ron Washington, move Torrey Hunter up to manage this ball team. This guy, he's in the dugout. He's a players kind of coach kind of guy. He's a little bit younger. He's in his mid-40s. He was on the Angels. I think he should be managing this team right now. Ron Washington's a little bit too old to be in the MLB right now. Shout out to him. He's had a great career, but he's blaming the players rather than himself and his coaching staff. And when you do that, it's not a recipe for success with the young group that he has. They do respect him. I know the young guys love him, but I just think his time in Anaheim's going to be running out here pretty soon. They fired Joe Madden, 30 games in the season a couple of years ago. Why wouldn't they do it to Ron Washington? So something to look out for. Scooble over 7.5 strikeouts, minus 110. And I'm most likely going to move on the full game under 7.5 runs because I don't expect the Angels to be able to put too many runs on the board today. And at the same time, I don't know if the Tigers are going to be able to put too many runs on the board. I expect a good start out of Soriano. You know what I mean? He's had a couple bad outings. It's really been 1 to 2 innings where he's struggled, where his command looked off, and then he got it together. If he doesn't do that, he's going to pitch well against this Tigers lineup, I think. So the under 7.5, minus 120, another play I might move on, but I'm on Scooble over 7.5 strikeouts, minus 110, guys.
You are in business, my friend. Jose Bouquet, Tigers, Angels, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm excited. Wine time for us to go watch this Angels team in Boston. It's gonna be a fun time when that happens. Us three, but I'm not gonna move on this game. I'm one of the guys, and there's been a few teams that I just cannot get a grip on. The Motor City Kitties are one of them. I don't know what to do with the Tigers ever. They're always better than I expect. Their lineup I don't know. Maybe it's Torkelson taking that bump. Maybe it's fucking Javier Baez suddenly becoming a 300 hitter and a center fielder. I don't know. But I ultimately stayed off this game. Soriano, not a guy that I think we should. Well, not a guy that I'm backing right now because of his current form. And I think Skubal is just that guy. So I stayed off here personally. I lean under, though.
Okay, well, let's roll on to our final game. I mean, I feel like the only concern I have is where this line opened. Now, it's moved so heavily towards the Tigers, so maybe it's just fine. But it seems like opening it at minus 162, you were just going to get all Tigers money. That's my only concern. And I would prefer the -1. But if I could have got a first 5 minus a half, like Justin got at minus 118, I should have done that immediately. I don't know why I didn't. Coin looking at the double result to get plus money. I get that. I feel I have a sneaking suspicion that Jose Soriano pitches well here. I mean, I think that's sort of what the market is indicating. That's why the line opened at what it is. And
yeah, and seeing the 7.5 juice right now to minus 120. I think what did it open up at 7.5 minus 105 minus 110?
Let me just go back and
I think that's what I had last night when I looked, and now seeing it at minus 120. I mean, if this gets to a 7, guys, that's going to tell us everything we need to know. I don't know if it'll get to a 7 or not, but
yeah, it opened up. Sorry, now I remember it opened up plus 100 to the under.
Wow.
So it's 16 cents here offshore. Interesting. Okay, lots to think about. Let's get into our final game on the board here. Jose, you can get us started with Rockies, Giants, Oracle Park, San Francisco, California. I did push the first 3 under 2 last night. Pushing a lot of those, but it's all good. I feel, look, if you look at Antonio Senzatella's numbers, he's trash. But there's something about this ballpark that, was where bad pitchers look good and good pitchers look great. Senzatella against lefties right now, and again, this is 29 in the third innings, but Senzatella is getting hit by lefties 389 with a 913 OPS, and by righties 379 with a 1.134 OPS. And you got Rob Ray in this cushy start, third straight home start, coming off a 3-2 win at home over the Rangers, where he shut them down, allowed 2 earned runs over 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And then for Robbie Ray, it is lefties that are getting to him. Got the reverse splits. Lefties are hitting him pretty hard. So who are lefties in the lineup? McMahon, Toglia, and Amador switch hitters. So a very, very easy group for him. AM is on the over 8 here, and our guy, my dude, plays of the day. Sonny Gray over 4.5 hits, Kramer over 2.5 earned runs, and the Blue Jays money line for my dude. Thank you for sharing that with us, my man. I will copy and paste it. Okay, so we have third straight home start for Robbie Ray. Giants versus lefties. Giants versus righties, 231, 698 OPS. Rockies versus lefties, 206, 618 OPS. So neither are hitting. Rockies bullpen being better than we expected, but we're not supposed to believe it. Very high whip, and we expect things to fall apart, but they haven't yet. And Giants bullpen's been excellent. 2.52 ERA, 1.03 whip. So let's take a look at the weather. 14.3 miles per hour out to the deepest part of the ballpark. It's not that big of a deal. It swirls. 56 Fahrenheit, feels like 49 is cool. We get to the line history here. We have the 8. It's juiced to the over at minus 111. This opened up at 7.5, and it was juiced to the over at minus 111 at 7.5. But the first time it got up to 8, went back down to 7.5. That was around 2, 3 in the morning. Then we got to 8 at 7:56 in the morning. When we first got to 8, it was plus 103 to the over. So even just since then, we've had 14 cents of movement towards the over. And then when we get to the money line here for this one, our final game on the board, we have the San Francisco Giants minus 276. They opened up minus 248, a huge move towards Ray and these Giants. My dude says Antonio is averaging 8 hits a game. Jose, is there any chance that this market may work for Senzatella and he could pitch okay? Or are we leaving money on the table, not using the Giants in some form? I'd love to hear it. Shout out to our guy TJ in the house. Just wanted to share and bless some action. Thank you, TJ. LA Dodgers first 5 minus a half. Seattle money line and a couple plays with New York, Detroit, and New York, Toronto for our guy. And Pittsburgh first 5 plus a half. I said that, right? Didn't I say this works? Right? I said that. I said this is TJ's wheelhouse. It's so funny that you're on that, TJ, because we haven't talked about his action yet. So take it away, Jose, our final game on the board.
Yeah, I won't have much in this game. The market moving towards the Giants with 75% of the bets, 66% of the money on them. It's a little interesting that it's 66 and not more than 75. So some people betting the Giants, or excuse me, the Rockies out there. I just feel burned by Senzatella. That's kind of why I'm off. 60% of the bets and 58% of the money is on the under, though. So people believing that he can pitch well. I personally am not one of those guys. I need to see it, I guess, before I believe it. So no action there. Shout out to you, TJ, for dropping your action, and thanks for the dono, my man. I've got some New York parlays too now, so thanks for making me feel a little better about them.
I think Robbie Ray's going to shove. I think this is a perfect situation for him. So it's about whether Senzatella and the Rockies don't get absolutely annihilated, which then, takes me to, you guys are all talking about, who you're putting with the Yankees. I'm surprised no one's putting anybody with the, Yankees Giants. I guess it's just not worth it because it's so expensive. Yankees. Oh, sorry, let me sign in. Yankees Giants parlay here. This is just 365, so it's nothing much. But Yankees Giants is, sorry, 1 second. Minus 112. Sounds like a nice way of handling things. I'm interested there. And then Todd, that's Fat Wally's action, my friend. And I have more work to do with Cole Battle. It's just the post draw was so horrible for the race because journalism gets set up and then the competitors, the horses that we think will give them the toughest situation were put so far outside. Now with a couple scratches, it is a little easier for them. So I think that's what I'm going to do here with the Giants, amongst other things. And let me get this here written. Okay, so let's review all action. We'll have a Wine Time come back and review his action here shortly, but let me review Troy Torrance's action. So he has the Cubs first 5 money line, the Yankees on the run line, and the Yankees -2. He has the Yankees Astros money line parlay. He's got the Yankees Giants money line parlay as well. Okay, there we go. That makes sense. He's got Cardinals money line, Pirates first 5 money line, Pirates first 5 under 4, Blue Jays first 5 minus a half, Rangers money line, and Giants double result. We got our guy Wine Time back in business. Wine Time, can you review your MLB action for us?
Yeah, apologies. I had to take a phone call really quick. Yeah, guys, I got a fully loaded card today, guys. My original plays that I tweeted out last night. We're going to start off the top. Diamondbacks money line plus 135. The Baltimore Orioles money line minus 130. We just touched on it. The Giants, you guys just touched on the Giants game. I'm on the Yankees Giants money line parlay plus 105. I think the Giants get it done today. I mean, I don't think the Rockies are going to win 3 games in a row. I'm pretty much daring them to there in that spot. So on some plus money for a nice parlay. We also moved on the show but we moved on the show. Reds minus 1.5 plus 105. That line continues to go up for the Reds. Rangers money line plus 100. Diamondbacks team total over 4.5 plus 105. We're on the Blue Jays Yankees money line parlay plus 135. Cardinals money line plus 105. We've got a fully loaded card today, guys. And then we also moved on the Scooble prop over 7.5 strikeouts at minus 110. That's the only one I haven't tweeted it out. I need to tweet it out right now.
That's great stuff. Running so spectacularly well. Wine Time 38 and 23, 62.3% plus 15.03 units. ROI plus 24.64%. Average line minus 101. I'm going to go over my action, then Jose will go over his, and then he'll come back for the big $50 horse race here on Kentucky Oaks Day. I've not bet anything yet, so I'll go over the plan. Last Friday, I was a little concerned about the action I had. I bet 19 games. I had 3 of the bets postponed. I had 2 pushes. And then wine time when the A's let the run line go, flop there, that gave me a 7-7 day. Despite the 1.62 units I made on the Nats, the plus 162, I still lost the tiniest bit of VIG, 7-7. Now I've got no knots in my back whatsoever. That's all gone away. And 3.6 really. We'll do that too. So I'm ready to fire away, but I don't want to do it just willy nilly here. Canadian Capper says, "Are you jinxing the Blue Jays wearing all that Jays gear?" I don't believe in any of that stuff. CC, my man. But the Nationals' first 5 was an interest to me in the first 5 team total under. Again, it's not bothered me at all being late to the party with my action because we've seen this monstrous move to the Reds, and it's going to be pretty comfortable for me to get off of that plan. Then I'm all over the Pirates game. It'll be a first 5 plus a half, and I don't want 3 units on it, so it'll either be the first 3 under 2.5 or the full game under 7.5. But in all honesty, having 3 units on it wouldn't be the worst case scenario. I think I could get past it. Then the Diamondbacks and the over are both appealing to me in Arizona, Philadelphia. I do want to spend a little bit more time on it. I want to join you guys on the Orioles and join you guys on the Yankees run line and double result. But if I have the Yankees run line and the double result and the Yankees Giants parlay, that's too much for me on the Yankees. I don't need my night depending on a big favorite like that, especially against Pepio, who's capable of stepping up. The Blue Jays are a bet for me today. Bassett coming home. First 5 minus a half and full game -1 is the expectation at this point. I don't think I'd get cold feet. Then I don't have much. I'm interested in the first 3 under in the Dodgers Braves. And then I just kind of sat on the fence for a lot of these next spots. In fact, the Tigers -1 is a possibility as the line moved too much. The Giants double and then the Giants Yankees parlay. That's it for me. So and this has happened quite a bit with us lately. I have a very heavy early card, and then it kind of dissipates as the late game's going on. I don't feel that has anything to do with being tired. I don't, but it could. I'll have to think about that more because that's been happening quite a bit. Now, I'm not sitting here with a terrible record, but I'm not doing that well either. So I'm not comfortable with where I stand. But then I just finished an entire NHL season, almost finished, very, very, very uncomfortable. And I feel like we just had a bit of a breakthrough with the takes that we've had on the playoffs thus far. So that's my situation. Then we have NBA coming up here with my man Wine Time Sports. Let's hear from Jose Bouquet, my friend. Jose, your MLB action for Friday, May 2nd.
Yeah, probably the most parlays I've had, and it's just 2, but I don't parlay very often. Diamondbacks money line on my card, plus 135. Parlay Winnipeg Jets, New York Yankees, plus 174. I believe I got that at. Toronto Blue Jays, minus 154, full game money line. Parlay Cincinnati Reds, New York Yankees, a little over plus 105 there. I have to calculate that by hand. What a pain in the Passalia. Texas Rangers plus 101, Milwaukee Brewers plus 106, St. Louis Cardinals plus 104 rounds out my card here today.
Great stuff. It was a lot of fun. The four-headed monster today. The surprise edition of Troy Torrence was really fun, really enjoyable. So let's move on to NBA. Jose, anything you want to touch on before you rejoin us for the horse race?
No, good luck, and hopefully our plays cash, but good luck in the NBA.
Thank you, my friend. Wine time. Let's get to work, my friend. Just one game on the board here, coming off what has now become a very rare losing day, 1-2 yesterday. I was telling the guys I was so pumped up when Beasley hit that 3. I was like a child. I was at the gym. I spent an hour on the fucking machine just so I could watch the game. And then it was getting too exciting in the last 30, 40 seconds. And then when they hit that 3, people must have thought I made $1,000, because I jumped up in the air and then I sprinted out like a child, so excited. And then they had the terrible third quarter, and then they had an 8, was it 113, 105?
It was a 6 to 8 point lead. It might have been 6, but it was damn near close, man.
And that would have put me in business because the double result of plus 145. Now I didn't, and we talked it all out. I didn't want to have 3 units attached to that opening game. So I only had the 2 units, the double result plus 145, the money line, and then I had the Clippers double result. And one thing that's happened on this run, and I know it was Operation Garcia that really boosted it, but I've been getting the bounces. I've been getting them. The Zubac tip in with 2.3 seconds left, 2.1 seconds left to get the double result in play for the Clippers. Like, I've been getting those bounces, and we all know that a lot of times you just don't get those bounces, and so I was fortunate to get them. We're 20 plus 20, so we're 292 and 240. Again, volume betting and the average line minus 111. You'd think if you were 52 games over 500, you'd be more than up 24.67 units, but that's the situation we're in. ROI plus 4.64%. Wine time, let's get to work in this very, very, very interesting game. Let's start with the setup. West first round, game 6, Golden State up 3-2. I told you guys on Wednesday that the Rockets was easy. It was just situational. You don't look at the numbers. Remember, I told you when I started pulling out the numbers, I was like, oh, well, these don't help. These numbers don't help you get there, but it was just so easy. And now we have the Golden State Warriors at -5. There's also 5.5. This opened up at 4.5 yesterday morning. It took about 8 hours to get to 5. It took another 8 hours to get to 5.5. And then there's been buyback at 5. I see a lot of books still hanging 5.5s here. So this is one of a rare book that's moved back to 5. These books haven't done that. I see the most juiced I see the 5.5 right now is -115. I see some -113s, but I also see books that I respect at pick'ems at the 5.5s. So we'll see how that bangs out. Lamont Williams max bet is the Golden State Warriors, and Justin McKelvey stacks play day number 2 is the Warriors over 105.5 team total. My belief here is that we can take advantage of what everybody just saw. I'm astonished that this line isn't bigger, and just by a point. I don't mean more. That this isn't a 6. I'm astonished. I'm also astonished if we're to believe that 42% of the tickets and 42% of the cash are on the Rockets. Astonished. 92 and 96 are on the over. I don't know how a little over 4 out of every 10 tickets can be on the Houston Rockets. Again, do I care that Golden State shooting 43% from the field in the series? No. I don't give a fuck. I loved that the Rockets destroyed the Warriors because, we cashed. I ended up losing a little bit of vig because I tied them with the Lakers, which was, I could have just taken the double result. And remember how astonished we were the double result was so cheap.
Yeah.
This just makes. Oh, Wager Tech says Rockets plus 5.5. Daniel Hernandez says plus 5.5 will be a close game. Rogue Energy says, am I the only one that thinks the Rockets win or push game 7? Again, I am astonished that anybody would think that this young Houston Rockets group can go into San Francisco and play 48 minutes against Curry and Butler. I am astonished that anybody thinks that can happen. It's that simple to me. The fact that the Rockets destroyed the Warriors in game 6 puts everything in the palm of our hands. It gives us a better line. It makes the Rockets think that they can go into San Francisco. Look, this is not games 3 and games 4. This is everything on the line here. And so I truly am. And again, like, you can say, oh, you're simplifying things too much, or things like that. If this was on a neutral court, it would be different. And of course, Wedge Detective, these opinions are great. Like, just because I'm on one side, that doesn't mean any, trust your cap and trust your instincts here. So I don't care also about the fourth quarter rally from the bench. I do think it's nice. It's nice for Warrior backers to see that their bench tried and cared when Kerr and the starters just let go. Van Fleet going for 26 points. Look, Amen Thompson is a really good player. The Thompson brothers are going to have long careers in the NBA, and they're very useful. Dylan Brooks is doing everything that you would want from him. He's trying to piss off the other team. He's giving them a bit of an edge, so he went for 24 points. All 5 starters scored in double figures. And then the bench came in, and I don't care, So let's go back to, like, when has this happened before? Well, the Warriors did this exact same thing in 2022. I mean, we watched them do this exact same thing. They lost game 5 against the Grizzlies by 39 points. And then they took care of business at home. I mean, what kind of basketball team could go into San Francisco and win this basketball game? Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Boston. That's it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So the fact that everybody just saw this is great for us. It's great for us. Rockets have a chance to be the 14th team in NBA history to overcome the 3-1 deficit. And we know that Houston's done it twice. The Warriors allowed the Cavaliers to do it. So I got to bet this as soon as the show's over. I wanted to talk it out and see where I sat after all of this. And I sit here and I think, oh, sure, I'll take this gift. That's how I see it. Full game only. If the Rockets come out fired up and play a great first half, would it surprise me? Not at all. This is a team with a ton of heart, coached well. They have nice pieces. They're going to be a danger in the future. And the amount of people here on the Houston Rockets, I'm just astonished. This could be Rockets up 5 going into the fourth quarter, and the Warriors cover easily. Take it away, wine time. Rockets, Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it, Jim. I mean, these Warriors, these guys are pros, man. I mean, they've been there, they've done this. Draymond and Steph, Steve Kerr, these guys have been here. Getting the game back at home now, they know how important this game is. This is everything. If they lose this game, I don't know how game 7 would go. So I'm right there with you on the Warriors. I was on the Rockets last game. Couldn't believe how easy it actually was from start to finish. Duke had a great game plan from start to finish. Just didn't really seem like the Warriors were there, though, in the beginning, honestly. It seemed like they almost wanted to come back home to get things done. So I'm right there with you, man. I got 2 plays today. On the Golden State Warriors, -5.5, -110. Going to make it official on Twitter. And then I'm also on Jimmy Butler. He'll have over 21.5 points parlayed with the parlayed with the Golden State Warriors to win at +130. 2 plays for me. I think Jimmy's going to have himself a night tonight. I think he's going to get to the free throw line a lot. He's going to knock down every single one. He's going to be able to knock down some jumpers. And when he gets to the rim, he's going to be able to knock in those layups. So I think Jimmy Butler has a huge game 6. I know he's been kind of a little bit banged up this series, but I just think this is a game that he knows he has to have, and he's going to attack early. They're going to get to the free throw line early, and he's going to make those every single time. So give me the Warriors -5.5, -110. Jimmy Butler over 21.5 points and parlayed with Warriors to win at +130.
Yeah, we're lockstep here. There's only been one game so far this year where I was like, this is so easy. And that was the Rockets game, where I was like, come on, this is so easy. This just feels not quite like that. Like, those game 5s when the road team or the lower seed is up 3-1 and you go back to the home court of the higher seed. I mean, those are just get out the way.
Yeah.
So it's, this is the lower seed, but now we're talking about 2 games worse, right? Or no, sorry, they're 4 games worse. But this is Come on, like they're just, man, again, like the Denver Nuggets, the LA Clippers, they couldn't come in here and win this game against the Warriors in Game 6 of this deep into a playoff series after blowing out the Warriors by 40 points. They couldn't do it. It's just there's the tiniest handful of teams that can do it. So I'm excited here. Jacksonville Zoe says the Warriors' home court advantage not near as good in the new arena. Rockets will keep this game close unless Steph goes off for 30. Okay. My man Jacksonville Zoe, great to see you, though. Look, I don't. This is just. And also, this isn't more than a unit. Like, I'm not sitting here putting 2 units on it. Or this is also not a double result. The Rockets have a lot of heart and a lot of character. And judging by all the backers here in the chat, you know, they've shown that they're a quality team. This will be fun. This will also be a great live betting opportunity if the Rockets are also with the small spread. We're going to get some live numbers. You know, Wine Time and I both moved on the Pistons live. It's funny because I got 2 points better than Wine Time. You know, Wine Time, unless you are basically, let's say, a 5-point favorite or higher, I will not move until 7 or higher. I will not. The 5.5s, even the 6.5s. I'm like, no. I'm gonna wait. Because I've had in the past, and this doesn't happen to me anymore, I've had my team ahead or so in the last minute. You know, you miss a shot, they hit a 3, you miss a shot, then you foul, and all of a sudden your 5 is a loser.
Yeah.
So I wait for the 7.5 or higher every time. I'll wait, or I won't bet it. And I was looking at a 6.5, and I was saying to myself in the gym, I was like, no, I'm not betting it until I get a 7.5. And then I thought I'd made the mistake, right? Because then the 7.5 game reappeared. So that's my rule now with NBA, because I need to be over that. I need to have that cushion in case of the last minute going against you. But, you know, we both got it. Wager Detective said, Public said that about the Nuggets the last 2 games. Yeah, it's an interesting example you make, Wager Detective, because that was my vividness bias. Jokic has done this before. He's at home. They've done this before. I don't have a vividness bias from these Houston Rockets, man. They've not done it before. So it's pretty simple. But just one bet, one side, full game. And then the live opportunity.
Yeah.
So I won't need points in this Wine Time. I would say that if they're 3.5 or 4-point dogs, unless we get over 5, I think we'd be looking at money line, right?
Oh, for sure. If I see him down 5+, I'm definitely taking the money line, man. We see what they do in that second half, man. Steve Kerr's adjustments are just on another level, man.
Yeah. Jojo says if you're going to bet Houston's first half for nothing, I cannot wait to watch this game. I love testing character. It's, you guys know that I'm more of the psychological situational capper, so I love testing character. And Sancho says if you like Houston, just take them for the series. That's a great idea. But then again, I don't know, Sancho. I don't know, because if the Rockets were to get this, I mean, would we really count Steph and Jimmy buckets out on the road? I don't know. I think that's probably worth just getting the money here. But I hear what you're saying, Sancho. It makes sense. All right, that is NBA for Friday, May 2nd. The coin says teams off a loss and betting them the next game are 22-10 against the spread in these playoffs. The Knicks and Clips came through in this spot last night. Another thing about that was the concern about the spread in the Clippers game. I had a real concern about the spread and ends finishing on 6. Now, I was fortunate for the Zubac tip-in for the double result, but I was concerned and landed right on the number. I'm not concerned here. I would prefer a 5 over a 5.5, but I think we got to get in as soon as possible. Wine Time, once again, incredible hard work that you have given us. We are 2 days away from the debut of your new MLB show alongside Morgan Spooner, and we're all very, very, very excited about that. And the friends and family parlay here. So, we know what it would be here for Troy. That would be the New York Yankees. So we can start there for the friends and family parlay for the Yankees. And then we'll go to Wine Time. What is your friends and family parlay? I'll throw this in at at 365 so we can get an idea of what we're going to get paid. This is worse. You'll get worse at 365. So friends and family parlay, who are you adding to the friends and family parlay?
The Baltimore Orioles money line.
So we have the Baltimore Orioles money line for friends and family. Jose Bouquet, would you please join us here for the friends and family? What is your friends and family?
Yeah, I probably should have joined with the actual friends and family bet locked in here. So give me 2 seconds and I'll figure that out for you.
Well, because this is friends and family, and it's a parlay, it's a 4-game parlay. So I'm much more comfortable taking a bigger line, and it doesn't, I don't care. So let me just put this in here and see what we'd be before we get Jose's addition. It's beautiful. The Golden State Warriors money line. Right now with Warriors, Orioles, Yankees, we're at plus 228. Jose, what's your addition?
Motherfucker, dude. That's a great question here. God, I don't want to be an asshole and take the fucking Winnipeg Jets, but I don't want to. So, but I've leaned that way. I guess I will give you the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, wow.
Your Toronto Blue Jays are in my mix. I was very close to adding the Milwaukee Brewers as plus money there. I will give you guys the market update. There is 55% of the bets, 54% of the money on the Brewers here. So here comes that Cubs money. But yeah, I will take the Blue Jays.
All right. Well, right now, and I'll bet this too.
Yeah, could you hit it one more time so I can go bet it right now? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Golden
put it
State
in.
Warriors money line, Baltimore Orioles money line, New York Yankees money line, and the Toronto Blue Jays money line.
I got plus 455.
Yeah, the Blue Jays line's moving. It just moved 5 cents. So I have. Oh shoot! Why is that happening here? Oh yes, I have plus 427 with that line move.
Fuck are the Orioles here?
All right. Yeah, I'll rock with you guys on this, friends and family. It was between the war. It was all San Francisco for me. Warriors, Giants. I hate saying that out loud because that sounds like a fun bet right there. Warriors money line, Giants money line. I shouldn't have said that out loud.
I enjoyed the Boston one the other day, so I understand why.
Yeah, they're just fun, but this is not fun. This is business. And Mr. Belvedere is plus 456 on that. So here we go. Wonderful stuff. Wine Time. You put in so much work here for us, and seeing you hitting 62.3%, 38 and 23 plus 15 units, ROI plus 24.64%. It's a message to everybody. The harder you work, the better opportunity, better chance you have of succeeding. And you're showing us that. I'm going to drop Wine Time's X handle in the chat. Please support our guy Wine Time and support the new show. The name is almost confirmed. We're not going to confirm it right now, but it's so close to being confirmed here. And please support our guy Wine Time and Morgan Spooner every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern for Sunday baseball. Wine Time, any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Yeah, Jim, always a good time doing the show with you, man, as usual. Good seeing you as well, Jose. Love breaking these games down with you as well, my guy. Shout out to you. Shout out to Rogue Energy in the chat, Lynn Belvedere, Wager Detective, We Do, Sancho, Gorky, my guy right there, Wager Detective, Anthony Richardson, City by the Bay. I saw a lot of people in there. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for showing out, guys. Hit the like button on your way out. Give me a follow on X, Wine Time Sports. All my stuff's posted on there. I'm about to post my NBA action as we speak after I get off here. Yeah, guys, we got a loaded card today. I'm excited. I'll see you guys next week when we're crapping this card again. And let's get to the money, boys. Let's go.
Let's go. There he is, our guy, Wine Time Sports. Jose, the Kentucky Oaks is in 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I've got to get ready to go over here on Racing with Razor, but let's race right here. Let's race for $50. Let's bring up the thoroughbreds. Good luck to all of us. I believe we have 79 now, right? Didn't we get another
78?
Oh, okay. I thought Philly Eagle Flyer joined.
He did. Yes.
Okay. We thank you guys enormously for being gold members on the Kentucky Derby weekend. Yes, Saturday, we just finished NBA. It was very fun. Very interesting, too. Way more interesting. I thought it was going to be boring. I thought everybody's going to be on the same page, but we're not. Yes, I am saturated. Full game with confidence. And then I'm adding the San Francisco parlay here as well. Thank you, Rogue Energy. Great having you back in business, my man. Let's race, Jose.
Yeah, I didn't know you were officially adding the San Francisco parlay. That's fun.
I am, but oh, nice, Miss Belvedere. Thank you, your Oaks Picks 9. I am, but I don't like. It's not for record. There will be no. It's not like a. You can't use it for a record because it's cross sports or anything like that. So it'll just be. I won't. I don't think I bother tweeting it out. It'll just be my own personal bet.
All right, fair enough. Let's get rolling. The Pub Sports Radio Oaks is now underway. God bless the horses here, and here they come firing. Barry Rozelle, Jose Bouquet, J-Dub saturated all in the mix there early. Ken Wood there, as well as Tori Coker, Miami's finest, an AM recent gold member in the mix there as well. Helga even showing her face here as well. J-Dub and saturated, and Jimmy the Bag up there at the top.
Oh God.
That's tough.
That was tough. You said I was moving forwardly, moving comfortably. Maybe there's another run in him. Here comes Jeff Slaughter. Jeff Slaughter making a power move along the outside. Tori Coker up front. Then we have Mr. Bitches in second, but J-Dub and Mr. Bitches move up, and not Justin McKelvey. Looks like a Treyu out there moving forwardly, but Jeff Slaughter also moving. Here comes Rez Mob making a big move, and who's head on the outside? It is the Chosen One and Top Set, both moving. Slaughter trying to get to the wire, but he can't before the Chosen One gets there first. The Chosen One wins. And Jeff Slaughter in second. Frank C. Mr. Bitches in third. Atreyu. Yeah, Atreyu, right, man? What did I say?
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Oh, it's a movie from our youth. No worries. Two Men and a Baby still has been making me laugh all day.
I saw that movie poster and I was shocked to see it. I was like, why are there 2 men and a baby?
Well, there was 3 men. I just showed you the picture for 2 men, but the movie's called 3 Men and a Baby. Wow. And the baby talks.
Yes, you said this.
The talking baby, man.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it was great stuff. And also you not knowing who the baby would be there was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun involved there.
I think that still will be up for debate.
No, absolutely not. Let's review all action. Justin Biller says, what am I looking at? Justin, my friend, Justin joining us from Germany. That is a race we have on Thursdays and Fridays for our Pub Sports Radio Gold members. And if you win the race, you make $50. Black Thor King was in there. He says his horse sucks ass. Some people like that. I'm not a felcher myself, but some people like it. Let's review all action here. The friends and family parlay: Yankees, Orioles, Warriors, Jays. And you guys wanted to talk here briefly about the Oaks here. So why don't we just have a quick, let me pull up my DRF here quickly. We'll do a quick talk on it. Again, the full Kentucky Derby show tomorrow will be on Racing with Razor. And that is the Kentucky Derby. Sorry, I got the wrong one up there. Let me get the Oaks. Here we go. This is the good cheer out of the Brad Cox barn has been as dominating as we've seen. I think we had somebody talk about being on a quiet side. I believe that was the Nuke Worker, and that angle does work because quiet side has come closer to good cheer than any other horse. And the problem with quiet side is, I think at this distance, and we're traveling, a mile and an eighth, that you wouldn't want to force quiet side out. the idea is quiet side has tactical speed, but at what cost? And when you come out of the 14 post, you've got to get forward and you've got to move over. And especially in the Kentucky 1 1/8 course setup, you don't have that much time to get over. And it's too bad. If quiet side was sitting in the 4 post or the 6 post like Ballerina d'Oro, I would probably be on quiet side. I don't want to be boring here and just, expect Good Cheer to win. But goddamn, has Good Cheer been phenomenal. We have AM talking about quick kick, out of the Thomas Amos barn. Rispoli is, a great jockey. The highest buyer figure here is 79. She had the 79 in her second start as maiden special weight Saratoga. Then had the 79 again in the Fairground Oaks, where she came, fourth. She was 7 lengths behind Good Cheer. And, she ran well in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Phillies. Her fastest race at this point is other than Good Cheer's opening race in Indiana Downs and maiden special weight, which again Good Cheer won by 8.5 lengths, just was just geared down. How bad would Good Cheer have to run a 79 buyer? What would have to happen? Good Cheer would have to be stuck, maybe click heels with another horse. And these things do happen. You have to wonder what is your peak performance? And we haven't seen it from Quick Kick. We've seen these kind of middling performances. The question you have to ask yourself with Quick Kick out of McKinsey is, does Quick Kick want the distance? Quick Kick's wins, and there's only one, but they were at 7 furlongs. So, he's just betting on names. Yeah, if you bet on names and handicapping horses is silly. Sorry, I didn't realize. If I had read you saying handicapping horses is silly, I would have not looked at what you picked and wouldn't talk about it. But I'll keep a note, AM, never to talk to you about horses again. I'm excited about the Oaks today. I'm extremely excited about Derby Day tomorrow. And I wish everybody luck here. I'll tweet out the plan for the Derby if anybody's interested there. And Justin Miller says, will there be any live bet streams once football season arrives like they used to? Remember when, we did live streams every Thursday. We did every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday all year, Justin, my man. So, Gorky says, remember that big days like this are one-offs for these young horses. Yeah, and the favorite doesn't have a very nice ROI, doesn't have a strong ROI in the Oaks. But I don't remember a 6-5 favorite in the Oaks. We've had some of the most phenomenal fillies over the last 10, 15 years running this race, and I don't. There might have been 1-8-5. I'd have to go check it out. But so good luck to all. It's going to be really fun. It sucks that Grande was scratched. At this point, for the Derby, where you want to look for a horse that you think it has the ability, if journalism runs into some tough racing luck. Journalism is going to need racing luck. Now, the thing about journalism is journalism can put himself in a comfortable spot, and Rispoli can take care of business. But the horse that I think is capable of a triple. Now, I thought Grande was capable of a triple figure buyer, but it's Burnham Square. It's Burnham Square. Now, Burnham Square is going to need racing luck again. But that is, at this point, the horse that I think has the ability. Now, we heard other people talking about Tiztastic out of the Ass Munch barn, and Tiztastic is improving every race. Tiztastic is...
again?
Sorry?
What was the barn name for that one again?
Ass Munch. Steve Asmussen.
Oh, okay.
Steve
Sure.
Asmussen barn.
Sure. Yeah. I thought you said ass munch. I was confused.
I did. That's what we call him.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
what we-
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
call him ass munch. But for me, it's Burnham Square. I think that Burnham Square can be great tomorrow. But we'll have to see. And we got more studying to do, and he's going to need racing luck as well. So there we go. And Gorky saying fade the favorite here. It's hard to do. It's hard. This is very hard to fader. So there we go. That is our show for today. Thank you guys so much. Billy, Friedrich, Gorky, AM, Big Daddy Boom, Saturated, the Nuke Worker. I'm going to be moving on this first 5 under right now. I've got a lot of work to do, and I only, in 2 hours, the Kentucky Oaks takes place. We do last one left. Thank you for all you do for us. Justin Biller coming to us from Germany. Thank you, my friend. Mr. Belvedere, the Nuke Worker, Kelly McKinnis, Philly Eagle Flyer, Black Thor King, Bunk Hoots. Thank you guys so much. Nasty Nate, Old E. Thank you guys so much for all that you do for us. And I'm going to bet the under 5 at plus money for the hockey game tonight. I'm going to bet the under 5 at plus money, and then I'm going to bet the Warriors. I'm going to get those 2 bets out right away. I'm privately going to bet the San Francisco parlay quietly. And that's money line Warriors, money line Giants. Then I'm gonna get my MLB action in, and then I will be joining Racing with Razor here, and I'll be on all day there tomorrow. But we have a huge weekend ahead of us here. We have our big UFC Des Moines show tomorrow night. We have Say Hey Plays to get that started, to get the weekend started here, the call-in show on Saturdays. And then on Sunday, we have our brand new baseball show. So a huge weekend ahead of us here on Pub Sports Radio. Jose, great work, my friend. Can you please Lecce our action and send us into the future?
Yeah. Can I ask you 3 quick Kentucky Derby questions?
Yes.
1, is Bob Baffert there? Did he have a horse? I think his band's lifted, right?
His band's lifted. He had a horse that was going to be a real issue. Rodriguez, who was unfortunately scratched, which then brought in a Baeza for John Sheriffs. It's too bad that now we've had another scratch with Grande, so Baeza moves a little bit over. But I don't ever remember this in my life. The also eligible Baeza is probably the second best horse in this race, honestly. So it's too bad that it didn't get in initially, and it's going to have to come out from that far side. Rodriguez was the horse that had the best chance. It won the Wood Memorial, and it really proved that it could travel. It's the best of the Baffert horses. But he also has Citizen Bull. Citizen Bull has a chance in this race, but it drew the 1 hole, and he's screwed. It's the toughest post in the Kentucky Derby. It didn't used to be. When the auxiliary gates were there, I would say that the 15 or the horse at the end of the first auxiliary gate had the toughest point, because when the other gate opened, those horses would come smash. But Citizen Bull, the one, you have 20 horses coming at you. Like, it's just, he has to break. Now, Citizen Bull has a 113 time form US early pace. Citizen Bull can fire out. But now Citizen Bull has to fire out. And the only race that we've seen over a mile and a 16th, Citizen Bull, yielded. And that 47 opening half is not that fast. And the opening half in the Kentucky Derby is going to be probably 45-4 or 46-2. So Citizen Bull couldn't run a mile and an 8th running a 47 opening half. Citizen Bull's going to have to break quickly. So it's too bad. Citizen Bull's in a very, very tough spot for Baffert.
Okay, so he does. All that to say, confirmed does have a horse in there. Okay, I was very.
Yeah, he had 2. He had Rodriguez, who had a real chance. Rodriguez was scratched a few days ago, so now all he has is Citizen Bull.
Second question: the jockey that I asked you about the other day, Vittori. I forget his first name. Is he
Frankie?
Sure. Does he have a horse in this?
Yeah, let's go through Frankie. I know he's got the Oaks mount. No, Frankie does not have a mount in the Derby,
but he has one in the Oaks.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And my last one is probably my most dumb question. They don't bring back horses that have won. They just age out, I guess.
It's a race for 3-year-olds. Only 3-year-olds can run in it.
All right. Well, there you go.
No, Frankie's not in. I was confusing him with Manny Franco. No, Frankie Dettori doesn't have a mount in either the Oaks or the. He's fallen off, Frankie. He's fallen off.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, beautiful. Thank you for answering my questions. Thank you to everyone for watching the shows. There are some bulbous pussies out there today, but all the guys that aren't in here that don't be raging vaginas, our shout out to you guys. Nuke Worker, Big Daddy Doom, Saturated. My guy Deacon Mike was in here as well. Nasty Nate, of course. Billy Friedrich. Shout out to all you guys. Appreciate you guys for being in here and making this show very fun and profitable as well, which is the most important thing. So shout out to you guys. Let's fucking make some money and let's leche. Hey, those bookmakers. Good luck on the horses.